as your children, the ability to speak to the situation and to bring calm in the conversations that we have with people, and help us, even as a board and as pastors, to work together to anticipate the things that that perhaps our people are worried about, and how to navigate the future that only you know. And so I pray tonight that you give us wisdom beyond ourselves, strength to endure through the challenges and ups and downs of our world. And Lord, that we emerge from tonight with your plans in mind. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. So we have minutes from our congregational meeting. I have a couple of copies here. If anybody didn't get a chance to look through them. There was no motions made or passed aside from the motion to adjourn. But we have recorded the general conversations. If I could get a mover to accept them, if everybody has read them.
So I had a question for clarification. It says we didn't need a quorum, but it doesn't say whether we had a quorum. So I know quorum is 30%. What is our actual membership?
185, it would have been 55.5 people.
So we had a quorum.
So we had one if we needed one. Somebody made a comment, oh, it was Nick Dendecker, came to me after and said, do we not need a quorum to have an official annual meeting? And I didn't know what to say to
I
him.
know what the Constitution said, but if you're not making any motions, quorum is inconsequential, right?
And we didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other thing is that that's the meeting that we announce annually what our membership size is. The clerk's job is to do that.
Well, it's in the annual report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Your report.
It wasn't discussed though. Should it have been discussed?
Probably not if it's in the report.
Mhm. Yeah, I've got my clerk reports in part of that.
With the baptisms and
Yeah.
membership additions and.
It'd be nice to verbally announce
Yeah.
that those are numbers.
Well, particularly when you're saying whether we have quorum or not at the meeting.
People care, people very care to know how many members, how many baptized, how many.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised if they would have asked. I think if they.
And we do report those metrics annually.
Yeah.
But it's a good meeting to announce that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
like
I'll
that.
make a note of that.
So I'll know the adoption.
Thank you, Todd. Someone want a second? Aaron, thank you. All in favor? Right, it's have passed. That brings us then to the minutes from our last meeting. I have some copies here, not enough for everybody, but a couple. If you guys, someone didn't get a chance to read them.
Yeah.
Want to get a chance to read through them? Any questions, comments, addendums?
I'll move.
Aaron, thank you. Seconder? Krista, thank you. All in favor? Right, spectacular. Thank you. Oops, sorry. Then to follow up from the minutes, administrative assistant. Has there been any updates on that at all?
So we have gotten together, Pastor Steve and myself, and kind of discussed what we believe would be the good thing, good
Okay.
way to move forward.
Yeah.
Came up with a list of responsibilities on both. So we've got more dividing it between more of an administrative financial person and somebody that can be more communication wise. So dealing with social media, all those good things.
Mhm.
We've discussed the number of hours potentially in the office, and based on what I have seen, we had the hours covered from Monday to Thursday.
Yeah.
Past the ministerial staff is not there Monday. Does it make sense to have the office open on Monday? So we're kind of leaning towards Tuesday to Friday.
Okay.
So
yeah.
covering possibly the administrative or the financial person in for 3 5-hour shifts, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The communications person will be there during those 5 hours on Friday to cover phone calls, etc. But could do part of the work at home.
Yes.
So
okay.
there's opportunity to do that. We're just trying to come up with job names, which I'm not really good at. So if anybody's got any brilliant ideas on that. But that's kind of where we've kind of fleshed that out.
Okay.
And I'm looking more, as I said to Pastor Steve, it's got to be what the ministerial would like. They're the ones that are
see.
going to be working with them, and
Right.
what are the things that those people can do.
Okay.
We haven't necessarily put in, I know Dave brought up the fact of bringing back the bookkeeping part into the church.
Right,
At
yeah.
this point, I would say get settled in what we're doing.
Okay.
And then look at that after that, but we would hire somebody hopefully that would have the ability. So looking more on 15 to maybe 18 hours, but 15 hours for the administrative, more financial person, the other one 8 hours. Which
Okay.
could then be developed further.
Yeah.
So that, but kind of just, that's where we are at this point. Like we say, we kind of have to, we would look at a contract for a 3-month period to see how it's all gonna shake out before we just say it's for sure. I see it being an opportunity for a very good, obviously not on my side, retired person or somebody, a mom,
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom that has children in school that could come in and work during those hours so that it's good. I know there's concern, you know, will we get a very good person, but I think that's possible for sure. That kind of where we're heading, is that saying enough or?
Yeah. Barb and I had a great opportunity to sit down. Barb had gone ahead and looked at some role descriptions that I think we're able to share with you if you wanted to have a look at.
I sent them to you in an
Okay,
email.
so you got the email.
Yeah, I saw
that just came
up
through.
here.
Yeah, it would be something you could look at or you can discuss.
Yeah, it can even be a starting point for further development. But I think the main thing is the past few months have given us a window into reality.
Yeah.
What's needed in the role. Barb has done a phenomenal job of coming in, and she's really rescued us. If I can not put it so dramatically, but that's really true. So very thankful for Barb coming in to make sure things are looked after. But with that, we've been able to really have a good look at what the job entails, the administrative side, the financial side, and the communication side, and get a better picture of what's needed going forward, what a more realistic picture of hours and responsibility and scope of the jobs might be. And so this is where we've arrived as of today. And so I guess, yeah, we're just sharing what we've worked on, what we've discussed so far. And the obvious part is we don't know exactly where things sit with Brenda, and that's still a question mark.
That too. There's been no new updates on that then.
No,
Brenda.
unless
No, she's the last what I got was when she sent me the doctor's note stating she would not be at this point, April 14th, but April 13th, we could get a letter saying it's gonna go farther.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I don't believe that I should be in contact with her based on
Nope.
her on
I think
leave.
that's- Yeah.
I know that Chantel's been keeping in contact with her, just touching base once a week, basically, how are you doing?
Yeah.
We're thinking about you. When she said she just basically comes back with, I'm just taking one day at a time. So I don't know if April's gonna be any different.
Yeah.
But this, I guess then depending on what that comes up to, then we have to determine what we're gonna do.
Yep.
Like.
What are our legal obligations to keep her job? Like how long do we have to keep that job
I mean,
for?
as of now, we're not paying salary, we're not paying insurance benefits, we're
Yeah,
not.
we've left her on benefits,
Left her on benefits.
not
but no-
pension, but the benefits. That's the only thing.
But at one point, we have to start
Well,
looking for a new secretary.
Yeah.
This cannot go forever. We have to, at one point, just.
Yeah, so part of what we built into this is it would likely be a contract to start type of position. So there'd be kind of a 3-month trial period after which time we could go any direction on it. The other part too, legally, that if an organization restructures the role, that's also an opportunity we need to part ways. That's a very simple way to do that. If the organization deems it fit to restructure that original role, then there wouldn't be necessarily any legal ramifications with that, because it's simply a restructuring change. But with that, there would obviously be, a part that we'd have to do in terms of like severance and that type of thing with finishing that previous role. But yeah, we're at a place where we really do need the support. We really need to get moving forward. And if we don't have answers, we have to at least come up with a contract position, which this fulfills nicely. So that's kind of where we've arrived, I guess.
So what does HR need from the board of directors then to continue moving forward with this?
job title.
Okay, yeah.
No. I have to say, this is,
And Brenda's job title was administrative assistant, right?
No, office administrator.
Office administrator, right, right. So it needs to be not office administrator.
Yeah.
so that's just anybody or anything that you can think that we didn't cover. Suppose I'll be very honest. I just took my lead from Joel from his AI. I listed everything I could think of that the person would do and then ran that through. So it could be rewritten for sure. Certainly writes it better than I do, but the job title, I'm good. Like I'm fine. If the coordinator, like I don't even know really, like I had office administrator, finance coordinator, it could be church administrator, it could be if you've got other things from other jobs that you know of or that would fit.
Yeah,
Like the finance part is small, really. Other than paying the bills.
Yeah.
Payroll.
but it's a key part of the role.
Yeah. If everybody can get their stuff approved.
So you need two titles though, right? Because you're gonna have.
Yeah, one is, I have communications
Communication.
coordinator.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
for
person
sure,
would
okay.
cover 1 day of administrative type. And the administrative type would be answering the phone, handling emails,
Do
basically.
administrative assistant.
I.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's what it was before. I think during Karina's time, you had.
Oh, and then you changed it
And
when.
then it became office administrator
Oh.
with Brenda. And
Miss-
so we could revert to an old title or come up with something flashy and trendy. I don't know. Like-
Ask AI.
speak to the young ones.
Community engagement specialist.
It's just that the more fancy you get, then you've also deal with money part of it, which I'm not saying we need to be cheap, but if it came up today, we were usually had the word engineer, I'm like,
I was being silly.
I know,
Engineer.
Office manager, administrative coordinator, executive support specialist, office operations manager, or director of first impressions. Well, one is one of the suites at
Assistant.
our building. They have that. She has it on her desk. Director.
So you call this administrative assistants, wouldn't it just be administrative assistant then?
I mean, it certainly could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple enough.
I mean, if we can, we can designate the role, we can designate the difference in the old role and the new role under the responsibilities, right? Responsibilities and duties, add, basic bookkeeping, entry, things like that, that were not part of the old role, that be part of the new one. Almost, what we call it is almost irrelevant if they don't have the exact same title. If the duties are different, I think is our core distinctive we're looking for. I mean,
Well, you said that Karina was administrative assistant, that Brenda was
Office administrator.
office administrator.
You can think about it. We don't have to firm it up right now, but, and I. thought
well, I don't want to
office
delay the
manager-
process any longer than we have to. I know, you see our pastoral staff would like to get help in the office, and we appreciate you filling in, but we don't want to lean on you for forever and a day as well, unless you're applying for a job.
Maybe,
Mhm.
a job
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah,
I feel like administrative assistant works really well and communicates the level and the time commitment of the job.
yes, you're right. Buddy, fine with titling it that?
I'm good with that.
Okay,
Office assistant. Is that what you said?
Administrative assistant.
Administrative.
Yeah.
in terms of green lighting a job posting then, did you want to email blast something out and we can workshop it remotely? Is that something we want to dig into at the next meeting or?
Well, we talked about that a bit today and we're on the 3rd of March.
Yeah,
Won't be that long till we hear April 14th will be upon us before we know.
yeah, okay.
Do we stay kind of wait that part out to see if that's,
I mean, if we don't
Best case
post
scenario,
until
we-
mid-April, that means we're not ready for interviews till the end of April. That means we're, almost barely hiring somebody by summertime.
Are you okay to fill in?
I'm fine.
You're okay?
as I said, I will be very honest, I have struggled with going from busy to nothing. This has been a nice, not, nice, if I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
If I'm not hopeful, I don't need to be there.
We really appreciate you stepping up. I don't want to take advantage of,
Timing was
Take advantage of the
amazing.
situation or what?
Timing
Yeah.
and
Yes,
this.
I have no commitments at this point. I was hoping to do, I had a average or had applied to do tax returns with my
Right.
house, but that hasn't worked out yet, so.
Mm,
But that would be short term. I just wonder, we are getting closer. Would
Yeah.
it be not maybe, we may have an answer based on what comes on the 14th, that we might not have the hard part to
Yeah.
deal with, that's what I'm hoping.
I think we can have everything ready to go
Yeah.
for that date. Like we can have a solid job description and be ready to post it with like Indeed and whatever other employment sites are out there. Yeah, we can have a green light to go as soon as we have that answer early April.
We could.
But yeah, you're right. It wouldn't be till probably end of April, the earliest that we'd have something in place.
We could
But we
post
will
it.
meet again before that happens.
We will meet again before that. Yeah, we could post it at the beginning of April and simply not start, contacting people until after the 14th. That way we'd at least have a cache of resumes
Sure,
and,
yeah.
and we could then hit the ground running with contacting people as opposed to just posting.
Yeah, it's true.
Would it be feasible to have a job posting ready for review for our next meeting at the end of March? And then see how things looking at there. Maybe we've heard from Brenda, maybe we haven't. Maybe we can post something in the next week or so, and that would give us a week or so to see what Brenda comes back with on the 14th, and then the process is kind of underway.
I personally think you could go with that communications one anytime,
Okay,
because
yeah,
that really, I mean, that wasn't our strength anyway. And if we were doing,
Yeah.
And that could be considered above and beyond what she was already doing anyway,
for sure.
so that's a.
That's a
could
good
be
idea.
Considered a new position.
And we might find somebody comes in for that position, and we might find they don't suit it, but they do suit the other position, and we could pivot at that point too.
Sorry, that second position, the communication, are we expecting that person to be in the office one day of the week to answer?
Just one day.
One.
And if we kind of go with, adjust the office hours from
Mhm.
9 to 2, or if it was a mom, or it'd be 9:15 to 2:15, that a 5-hour window, just to cover the phone. As long as the church knows that that's our hours of opening. And typically that covers most of there's not a lot of phone calls that come in.
Yeah, especially Fridays, because people are
Yeah.
used to it being.
Yeah,
closed Friday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday would be the most.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea of the communications one would be the 5 hours on the Friday plus 3 hours that could be worked at home or remotely. Since it is mostly computer work. or
It's a lot of solo work, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we could certainly post that one sooner rather than later. And
Okay.
Get that rolling.
Mhm.
Can I
Barb,
ask
can-
who,
Oops,
can I
go
ask
ahead.
who, oh, go ahead, sorry. Can
It's
I ask
okay.
who, can I ask who would be receiving those resumes, you might say, or if you put a posting out, who's our contact?
HR,
HR.
generic HR. panel.
Okay, well, my question, well, I guess my concern there would be conflict of interest. If Barb has stated that she might be interested in the job, that's definitely a conflict of interest.
Actually, we can't pay Barb as long as she's on the board.
That is correct, yeah.
We just want to be careful of that, man.
Thank you, Ross. Let's, we will note that for sure. Does anybody perceive an issue with the conflict of interest? Barb, do you think you could act fairly and impartially?
Yeah. As I said, even today, I believe that the interview should be done by the three in the office.
Yeah,
HR can,
Of course,
three
yeah,
of
yeah.
them, but they should do the interviewing because those are the ones that need to work with the person. But
At
that's
one
fine.
point at least, they may not all need to be at the first round of interviews, but at some point they should get a chance to be, yeah.
I can certainly be in part, like I said,
Yeah.
I don't
No,
need to be there at all.
Ross, that is a very excellent point. We should note it in the minutes, but if Barb feels she can act fairly and impartially, I don't have an issue with it. If nobody on the board of directors has an issue with it, I think we're safe to proceed, but that is very worthwhile to note in the minutes.
I have a whole committee as well.
Yes,
So
yes,
I have a
absolutely,
committee.
yeah.
Barb, you said 15 hours for the communication
15
specialist? Is that what we're calling
No,
it?
for
No.
the.
Oh, they do it.
15 to 18 for administrative assistant, and yeah,
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay.
and the communication coordinator was 5 hours, right?
5 hours in the office.
And 3 at home, that's
Eight
right.
total for
Yeah.
each.
Okay. I had backwards, okay.
Okay. I think HR can proceed with looking for a communications coordinator then. Maybe we can have a job posting ready for the next meeting, and if you feel you want to launch it sooner and you want to email blast it out, by all means, I think we can look at it digitally and green light it.
Mhm.
Does that work for everybody?
That's good.
Okay, awesome. And then we also discussed the facilities supervisor role. We talked about talking with Chantal to see if that would be something she wanted to progress into. Did we, end up having that conversation?
Have not yet had it,
Okay.
but we want, probably in my mind was
Yeah.
to firm up a few things.
I see, okay,
So we have adjusted the job description, so it took the caretaker one that was already set and
Mhm.
added the responsibilities for the, which we're not gonna call it the coordinator, but something, that part of it as well.
Okay.
So we've got that, and then also and again, this is me heading, I have a strong feeling for having us hire somebody for a casual caretaker slash facility
I
backup.
see, yeah.
Because of the fact that things such as if we get to the point of the gym being used and there's 200 some
Mhm.
people going to be in with tables, Chantel cannot do that herself.
Correct, yeah.
Setups. Even with the fact that the sanctuary is going to go under construction with drywall dust and everything, she needs
A lot of
additional
extra
help.
work, yeah. Yeah.
And I was thinking with regards to getting volunteers to help with setup during the day. Who's that gonna be? That's gonna be retired people, which is fine,
Yeah.
but are they the ones that we need to be lifting those tables all the
Mhm.
time? So, and with her being off for 4 weeks, to me seems the right thing to hire somebody, which we've covered on our budget for that part.
Okay.
The other part would be covered under the money of the facility rentals.
Yeah, yeah,
That I think we need that in place as well. So
Okay.
that's, and I talked, my committee, the HR committee agreed with that.
okay,
That's kind of where we stood right now, anyway,
okay, no, that sounds good.
but
Keep
we,
us posted.
pardon me,
I said, keep us posted as it progresses, yeah.
yeah. But we will, I guess, we can talk to Chantel anytime, so I think we firmed up
Okay,
things that we want to talk to her about.
okay, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for staying on. I'm excited to see how this progresses. Is there anything else from from last meeting or from the minutes that we need to follow up on or discuss that's not on the agenda for tonight already?
And I have a question with
Yeah.
regards to, I haven't done everything that was on that for last week either, but was there a letter that was gonna go out to our people that rent on a regular basis? That that it's explained to them that they require insurance and all those
That
good
was in the
things as well.
minutes.
You're right, yes. I think I was supposed to do that.
Yeah, and please don't, that was just,
Yep, nope,
just
that's
that I
great.
see those things coming up where we're still getting, we used to do it this way, or we've done it that way, or we've always done a donation, or we've always done this. If we're going to get this, personally, if we're gonna get this right, we
Absolutely.
need to get everything lined up, and whoever takes it over, whoever does it needs to have everything in place. Like, for instance, the ad loans, they're using it, and I said,
Right,
can we
yep.
have the insurance?
Yeah, yeah.
He sent me a piece of paper and I said, it's not, doesn't say wind, it doesn't say vandal on it. So I got the whole insurance thing, which is fine.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's the person that's gonna be there
That's
needs to have those
that's right.
things in place.
Absolutely. Why, I would get that letter done. Absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Yes. Okay, anything else from last meeting with the minutes?
So something, I wasn't at the last meeting, but something that I want to pick up from
Yeah.
farther ago and just make a proposal to add something later in the minutes,
Yeah, yeah.
in the agenda somewhere. Dave had talked about doing a analysis of our attendance and putting it on a spreadsheet and everything. So that we could talk about where's the threshold? Where do we feel like we're not able to manage the people that we have because they're walking out the back door because it's too full? So where is that threshold? And so we can't have a discussion until we actually know what our numbers are. Do you know if Dave made that spreadsheet?
That is correct. I forgot about that, but he didn't mention it at the last meeting. He hasn't mentioned it to me. I can bug him about that again. I'll fill him up to speed on today's minutes and I can mention it to him as well, yeah.
What I was gonna suggest for the agenda, maybe we could talk about this later about maybe appoint 2 or 3 people to be a little subcommittee to flesh this out and come to our next meeting with some thoughts about that.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. No, that's a good topic. We need to, stay on and be mindful of, for sure, yeah.
I noticed we're putting up some chairs. On the one side, who does that?
On the one side.
On the left side, I think, right?
Yeah, so like the pastor Steve's left when he's at the front, or when you come in on the right.
Like along the wall?
I know on the wall,
Like
there's
the area
been
that's
chairs
gonna
have
be
always
taken.
been there,
Like
but
the back wall, the side
yeah,
wall?
like the back wall, there's been just.
Yes, that's right.
someone's Been
Oh.
putting chairs there, but I didn't know
Yeah.
if we're being intentional with trying to put more chairs out, or is that just an ushers thing?
Ross, do you know anything about this?
I noticed that.
Yeah.
That was people like their own
Okay, I'm not,
chair.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm not sure what you're asking. Is it about the chairs in the very back of the church that people just, feel more comfortable sitting in them rather than?
Yes.
So that's not something property is discussed, but, maybe if we, do the interior, design when we tear the wall down, maybe move all chairs in there. We don't need to have chairs at the back. It's actually a fire hazard really more than anything. We could get called on it, but yeah, we've been doing it for years. It's more comfortable for people. But let's see what, our renovations bring.
Okay. That sounds good. Anything else from last month's meeting or the minutes? Good, then I wanted to spend a few minutes and talk about the sanctuary update. We presented it to the congregation last Sunday. I think it was very well received. I got mostly very positive comments and a few pieces of constructive criticism. I think I passed it on to the fit team as needed. We're getting into the time then, or we'll need to start finalizing details on it. We have a concept, but we'll need to start hammering down the details and how exactly does it look, and dimensions and colors and finishes and specs. And I'm just curious if the fit team had a proposal or a process in mind to get all that wrangled up.
Where it's at right now, like in terms of the panels, Daniela and I are working on either 2 options, because we did find out that there's some fire code issues with and any kind of materials that go into a sanctuary. And interestingly, I watched, I don't know if you ever watched the movie Elmer Gantry. You ever watched that old movie? 1960s. Brian Adlam mentioned it to me.
Okay.
And not to give away the plot of the movie, if you're going to watch it, but it does involve a scene in which a church does go up in flames because of their decorations. So I watched that this past week and I'm thinking, okay, we really didn't think about that. Thankfully, there's a lot of good information out there in terms of materials that we can use for DIY panels.
Okay.
There are specifics that we can do in terms of the covering materials and insulation materials inside of panels. I also have a connection with a company in Mississauga that I've worked with before that does acoustic panels that are fire rated to building code.
Yeah.
And they're very economical, and they've got a whole slew of different color swatches. I've ordered their color swatch panel for Daniela and I to look at.
Okay.
And so in terms of the facade or the panel setup, we're going to be hopefully finalizing what we're going to do with that. Either if it's a DIY type of thing, or if it's just purchase the panels at a slightly, it's actually not much more expensive than DIY.
Yeah.
So if we can do a more professional application and solve fire code rated, all that kind of thing. It comes with brackets, mounting brackets. That's going to make our job a lot easier to do. And thankfully, they also do custom panels too. So you can give them your dimensions, and they can build to spec what you're looking for with their rated materials. So that's a big part of the project. The other part, Daniel Blada, your dad, has agreed to do the drywall work and the filling in of the archway. And I don't think there's a huge amount of design that goes into that. So
Just making sure the opening size is coordinated and we don't end up down and then the cross is in an awkward spot. Just coordination and opening size.
So I do have a document with the dimensions for that part of the project. In terms of, so that's the panels and the filling in part. What I'm finalizing right now is the type of projector setup that we need to get. And so I'm getting all those specs figured out. I was looking into it a little bit more today. And so that's another significant part of it that we want to get right because there's a real science to it.
Yep.
And you don't want to mess that part up
Yeah.
because it's very exact. So that's another part that does need to come together that I need to get all the exact specs for. And so I'm hoping to have that by early next week to have that all together. And so in terms of most of the parts of the project, they are underway and ready to go. But if there are specific questions that you have that we haven't considered, I think we can.
I've got no specific questions. I'm just thinking the sanctuary is like real, I mean, it is the focal point of of most of the church. It's gonna be front and center in everybody's mind, and everybody's gonna have a different opinion about the material and texture and size and fit and finish, and it should be bigger, should be smaller, should be, should be whatever. I just want to make sure that we've done all our due diligence. We have a decorating committee. We should have like an official meeting with the entire decorating committee, make sure that we are, so if somebody said, hey, why do we do, elephant gray or pink or whatever? We said, well, we have, we are the decorating, we have decorating committee, they were involved in the process. And if it's looking like we would benefit from like the input of a paid interior designer, decorator, architect, someone like that to really tie it together. I mean, I know we had a budget based on us doing it, but yet it's the big one. So
Yeah.
I just want to throw it out to the FIT committee. And if it's looking like that's what we need to do to make sure it all ties together nicely, it might be money well spent too.
Okay. Yeah, I can certainly bring that back to the FIT committee and take that advice. Daniela is working on the colors, like getting some options for colors.
Perfect, yeah.
And I'm assuming she's working with their committee to iron those details out. But yeah, like I said, we've got the colors for the panels on the way. Like we ordered their color, whatever the swatch, whatever you call it. And so those decisions will be within the next couple of weeks. We'll be looking at finalizing colors and materials and that type of thing.
So were you hoping that the decorating committee would come to our next meeting on the 24th and present their?
I don't know
Plan?
that that's needed per se. If somebody comes up and says, who decided this? I want to make sure I can confidently say, yes, we, at last year's annual meeting, we hired that, we approved the nominated decorating committee. They came to this conclusion together, or we did it in conjunction with this architect, this interior designer, this, this whatever. I just want a, a good, because this is the project that's going to be getting those complaints. Why did we do this color? Why did we do that color?
Right.
Why is it here? Why is it there? And I just want to make sure that we've gone through all our proper steps as a church with the teams and people that we put in place to do these things. And then if we need, more official, more professional steps, that's, now's the time to do it. Okay. Thank you. Any other comments, inputs, anything with regards to our renovations?
Yeah, I got the input that you sent.
Yep, okay.
And I think that went to the rest of the 15.
Yes, I believe it did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good input.
Okay.
On the renovations, I just got some questions about, based on can we just proceed or does this require congregational voting? And that said, because we received the money from the, what's it called?
Memorial
Funds.
We're not
That
overspending our budget.
We're not, it's not a budget issue.
Yeah.
So it doesn't require, church approval. And the board does have executive.
I would say yes. I mean, the fact that it's from memorial funds or not, it's still a capital project.
Yeah.
It still goes beyond your budget. So yeah, we take it to the church and we show them the plan and then we get them to.
I'm just saying the way the Constitution reads, I mean, we do have executive abilities to use the money with direct monies, right? So.
Oh, I'm not sure that I would read it that way. It's beyond our budget. So somebody gave out on a memorial fund, but that doesn't give us the right to do it without the congregation's say.
At the meeting, right? I mean.
Yeah, that's how I.
It was explained that this was a
Yes.
memorial gift and this is what we're doing with the money.
Yeah.
And there was no.
No one had an opportunity to object. There was no
They did.
opportunity to object to that.
They were clearly told that.
No, they were told, if you have questions, go talk to the committee.
We're welcome,
outside afterwards.
right, and.
Did we receive any of those?
There was a few, yep.
About finances though, or is it just?
Not about
complaints
finance,
that's what I'm
like,
saying.
aesthetic
I
stuff?
didn't get any questions about finance.
I just want to receive the one from, like, my brother was just asking, like, is this something that requires like church
Yeah.
approval, or is this? And I just explained that because it's coming from a memorial, it doesn't actually require, you're not changing anything.
So we have two issues at play there.
Yeah.
We have, does it require approval because it's a big church project? And does it require approval on the financial end, spending something in and outside of our budget? And those, and either one could be true independently. I guess that's something we have to determine pretty fast, because I think we want to get moving on this thing pretty quickly.
Yeah, we want to start purchasing
Yeah.
certain items to get that rolling. But if the board decides that it should, if it's more proper, and if it would be received better to go to a congregational vote, then I think that would be.
Well, Aaron's searching the Constitution here. I don't think there's gonna be anything in the Constitution with respect to, what level of renovation requires a congressional approval. We're not adding to the footprint of the space. We're not demolishing any significant spaces. This is closer to a
Decorating.
renovation
Yeah.
or really a decorative project than it is to a capital project. But that doesn't mean it may not be prudent to seek congregational input and approval. I'm curious, what is everybody's thoughts on the matter from just a pragmatic, what is right versus what is wrong standard? Yeah.
Technically, per the Constitution, even though we moved it, the committee that's responsible for decoration is actually mine, right? And then we ended up moving that over to building because we thought it was a better fit.
Yeah.
So the Constitution still reads that the committee responsible for decoration of the church interior regularly through the provision of flowers, et cetera, for special events. But that's all that's mentioned regarding decoration.
If the projectors went, would we have the authority to just buy a replacement without asking the church?
Yes, and that's also pastoral campership.
That's also a part of why this project is so necessary, is that half the cost is just making sure that we actually can.
A good chunk of the cost is projectors, which is really not a renovation or an improvement or a decoration. At this point, that's a maintenance item.
Exactly.
They're way past their useful life.
I thought it was pretty neat that the money, that gift was given by some, didn't you say that?
He was the
person
interior.
that designed it?
Yeah.
I thought.
It's very good.
Very nice.
And I was about to tap him on the shoulder to help figure this stuff out too. He got sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it's really meaningful, that.
So is this here in the church meetings, annual meeting, obviously, election meeting, budget meeting? The budget meeting shall be held at such a time, place in Windsor, Ontario, as determined by the board during the month of November of each year to approve the annual budget for the upcoming year, prepared to consultation, and then under other special meetings, at the request of the chairperson of the board or the pastor, or upon the request of a lesser of 25 active members or 10% of the total active membership of the church. Other special meetings of members shall be called and convened by the church moderator within 30 days of the request. I guess that would constitute a special meeting more than anything else. Because there's the ones that we're obligated to have, right? Elections, annual meeting, and budget meeting. But this would probably be best classified as an other special meeting. And it would require, at the request of the chairperson of the board, yourself, or the pastor, or upon the request of a lesser of 25, of 10% of, or sorry, lesser of 10% or 25 active
people.
members.
Okay, I see.
So 25 people would have to
Come and say. Yeah.
we think this ordinance a meeting.
What is in our Constitution financially with regards to spending of the money? Is there anything one way or the other?
That's what the budget meeting's meant for, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
There's nothing
mean,
in there specifically.
to direct
about
how-
memorial?
So at what
Yeah.
level does an overspend of a budget line need congressional approval? Because I mean, many committees overspend budget lines throughout the year.
Yeah.
Some are just inevitable. Utilities come in more than expected. We certainly don't take a congregational vote for that. Sometimes we approve an extra, $1,000 for a program that we really wanted to run, but wasn't in the budget. This is certainly more than $1,000, but I don't see a dividing line in the Constitution. But I mean, at the end of the day, Constitution or not, I want to make sure that we're doing the correct thing by the members of the church. And I can understand on one hand, this is not really a significant renovation. It is a facelift. We are not adding, removing square footage. We're not doing anything significant or anything structural or anything that really couldn't be accomplished by removable decor. On the other hand, it's the focal point of our church and our sanctuary on Sunday morning and our focal point of worship, at least our visual focal point of worship. And I certainly don't want to just unilaterally do big things that's going to ruffle a whole lot of feathers for, for decoration. What is everybody's thoughts on the matter? Is this something that should be put to a congregational vote, or is this something we think that we would have broad church support to proceed with the judgment of the respective committees and decorating committees?
In retrospect, maybe we should have had a motion when we had the meeting.
Well,
Because they were.
but I think that wouldn't have been fair to them, because then it's here's a project, you've had no time to look at it, think about it. Now quickly digest it and somebody pass a motion. That's almost worse, I think, putting it and then forcing a vote down people's throats. If we're doing a vote, I think they need sufficient time to see it in the lobby, digest it, talk about it and visualize it. Maybe the projector needs to go down again.
That's the purpose of the 2-week notice though, right? So that anytime that you do announce, in theory, provide materials in advance of the meeting to allow people to digest and then form their opinion and to vote.
Well, this was not something that I think lent itself to just here's some plans, think about it yourself, we're gonna vote on it in 2 weeks. That needed to be shown and presented the way that we did.
Yeah, and you guys said Q&A.
The dialogue, it's important. It's really important.
And I mean, it's been long enough that if anyone had a real issue with congregational vote or something, you think that someone would have come.
In theory, if they read the Constitution, they could request a formal meeting.
Has there been anybody who hasn't been enthusiastic about the renovation? Many points I've had have just been nuances. Wow, maybe you should consider this instead of this, but it's still prefaced with, I really like it.
Can I have some input?
Pardon me, yeah.
Yeah, can I have some input?
Please, yeah.
Yeah, when the board put together the FIT committee, it was to bring back proposals to the board respectfully, after looking at different things and different styles in the church. We brought it back to the board, and the board approved it at our last meeting, that this was, it's a decorating type of thing. We're not restructuring. It's a decorating issue. So, and also the necessity of the projectors and just going forward. So we have a meeting and we have it, and we had pictures up to show people. And I would say 99.99% of the people I spoke to were absolutely in favor of everything. They loved it. To keep dragging it out and say, well, let's bring it to another meeting. You will never please 300 people. We will start right from scratch again, going over the same issues. We need a projection system that's right. It adds better continuity at the front of the church. We've been through this and hassled it. I can't, to keep throwing it under the rug or wait until everybody's in approval, you'll never get it. And everybody's going to have a different version. We've presented it to the people. They had a chance to look at it. Constitution-wise, there is no budget line for it. It's a memorial fund, and it was a gift from a decorator who are just simply changing the design or colors of the church and projection system. It's nothing, we're not adding on or anything of the sort. I think we need to deal with it.
That is my biggest concern about putting it to a vote, is it's not going to be a yay or nay vote. Then it's going to be, well, we should take the money and do this with it instead. That's a lot of money to spend on this. We should do this with it. Or I think it should look like this. Or, well, I'm going to make a motion that amends the FIT proposal to do this.
The money should be redirected.
Exactly. It's definitely not going to turn into a straight easy, yes, I like it, 95% in favor. There's going to be a dozen different alternate proposals. And I'm worried that just gets clumsy and divisive.
I think the silence of the congregation and the acceptance of everything that you guys presented speaks for itself.
If we had even a handful of really negative comments or emails, someone that said we should not be doing this, this is the wrong direction. I don't think there's been anything really strongly negative. Please, Barb, yeah.
Did you hear? Typically, you have the same group of people that usually have the notes.
Yes.
Have you heard from any of those? I think we know.
I haven't. No.
Are they on vacation?
They're watching the game.
Are they in Mexico?
They're watching the game.
I'm just saying, there hasn't been, if you know the ones that typically are gonna be,
And they'd be there right away. They would, if they
Oh, yeah.
weren't at church that day, they would be calling on Monday or Tuesday, right? I think. And then if no one said anything by now, I think it was a general, yay, we're coming into the new century
Yeah.
with our church.
So because this isn't calling a pastor, we don't have such a high threshold. It's just a 50% majority is all we need for this vote.
Mhm.
So I'm not worried, like Joel is, about having people complain about, their own little pet project because they won't carry the day in the vote. But I do think as a congregational church, anytime we spend a significant amount of money or make a significant change, the front of the church is gonna look significantly different, and the back of the church, we're gonna have to decide what are we doing with that old storage area. Congregation had a chance to have a look at things on Sunday, but they should have a chance to approve it. I mean, we have an unelected fit committee and an unelected decorating committee reporting to us, but not to the church.
But the
So they
board
did
can make that
report
decision.
to the church on Sunday. Now, let the people have a couple
of
weeks and then bring it to a vote.
The decorating committee is as elected as the board is. Our board is also unelected. We don't do votes for the board, but we do vote to approve a new slate of committee. Yeah, so, but the decorating committee was voted on with
No,
all of the new.
No, the decorating committee is not.
Was it not nominated?
The representative, I think.
The
No,
representatives.
I thought they were nominated.
Yeah.
I thought they were nominated
But that's why,
with the slate. in
but that's
June.
why they
Yeah,
report to a committee, and so they
That's right,
report to
report to the
building,
elected
and that
committee,
building
yeah.
committee
I
has the
apologize,
abilities,
Madison.
right? And that's what I'm saying. So even for example, like, pastoral care, the care team technically reports to me. If they make any decisions about stuff, I'm the one that ultimately has to rubber stamp it, right? And it's the same for Ross and the decorating committee, so he does have that ability as the elected chair of that committee to make that decision, assuming everything's within the budget, right?
Yeah.
Cause he's the one that has to face us at the board level. That's, I think, the rationale between, in the sense of having a board is that not every little decision needs to be, congregational vote. It's something that can be decided at the board level. The question is, do we think that this has enough weight to require congregational vote? And again, I see your point, Todd, but I do think that, like, I am agreeing with Joel in the sense that if we open it up, you're gonna get like more division than unity, you know what I mean? And we know it's gonna pass, right? So are we just doing it to say that we did it, or?
And then we're gonna end up with a dozen people that says, well, I like Bill's idea. Well, I like Fred's idea. Well, I like Bob's idea. And you're gonna have, and none of them will be 50% factions to your mind, but we'll have now a whole
No micro
several groups of grumbling people that there was a better idea here and we didn't do it. And I very much understand your sentiment and where you're coming from, and I'm trying to decide and not that I can decide anyway, both, but I'm trying to do myself where that dividing line is. What is everybody else's thoughts on the matter? I don't want to grind up the whole night discussing this because I think we all see all sides of this, and I think we could probably discuss it back and forth all night, and we'll have to come to a point where we make a decision.
Well, perhaps we could strike a bit of a compromise and say that, reiterate that we have this display here. And if there are comments or considerations from our congregation, this is the next couple of weeks before we pull the trigger on the whole project.
Yeah.
If you have input, we are listening.
Yeah.
We're here to listen to your concerns, questions, clarifications, and we will provide that before we proceed and say, 2-3 weeks time.
That's what I wanted to say. I would make another announcement. Now, keep in mind, we presented this on after the regular service to some people that come to Sunday and leave.
Yeah.
They never had a chance to hear.
You missed it.
So I would say
It's a good
use
idea.
one of your pastoral times of 15-minute slot that you have, maybe to present it one more time to entire congregation and keep them certain dates. After the service, FIT committee will be in the foyer again. Please come and see us. Please, we would like to hear your positive or negative reviews. That will give you another, is there anything negative?
And does it have to be presented again, or can it just be an announcement? If you just rolled into the regular announcements, you know, if you were here at the meeting a couple of weeks ago, you heard, you know, you would have, you've seen a plan, future lab renovation.
Well,
At the time, the FIT committee was present at the.
I will show it because some people didn't see it.
Well, at the time, the FIT committee was present at the back for your questions. If you had a chance to think about having more questions, they will be present again after the service today. That would highlight it again without
Maybe we
chewing
can
up
show
15 minutes of a Sunday
one
morning.
final one
doing
on
a-
a, while
Doing a
you're doing
presentation
the
again, yeah.
announcement, we can show one and come and see the rest of the photos with the fit committee behind at the end of the service.
Did these slides have the numbers? Because the presentation that was given to the congregation did have numbers about like what it was gonna cost us.
Yeah.
Do these ones up the way?
They're not on these ones.
No.
We did it as a membership.
No, there is gonna be a news and views article about it as well.
Okay,
So anybody
There's
reading the
that
news
too.
and
We
views,
can
we'll
point
see,
out
we'll
the
see
things.
another detail about it, and we could do that as well. We could. If I might suggest that we proceed the way we're going right now, let's let the news and views article come out. That will solicit more feedback if it comes up. We can promote it in an announcement if we feel safe, and we have another meeting in just a couple of weeks. We can maybe reevaluate at that point, and if we've gotten more feedback that looks like maybe there's a need to put it to a vote, we can decide at that point to just, you know, pump the brakes for a minute, put it to a vote and goes on. If we think support is overwhelmingly positive, then we can reevaluate at the end of the month.
I will just say though, in my
Yeah.
FIT article, I did not mention the costs of everything. I just described what we had
Yeah.
come to. So I could go and add it still, but if you'd like.
That might be worth.
yeah,
That might be worthwhile.
with just a footnote that says that like when you say the numbers, say that
The cost of.
the cost of it adds, but then say where the funding is coming from for the memorial fund.
Yep.
What do you think about putting certain deadlines for feedback? So you have a date when.
That would be helpful.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna send an email in, but then you went and took the sledgehammer up.
But that's what I'm saying, is maybe in the article, you can note that too, you know, we encourage feedback by such and such a date to allow us.
That's a good idea.
Remember when the news and views is going out? What's the date for it again?
May 9th, or March 9th is when we have to have it in.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
It's
comes up
Usually a week
It'll go out
after
before
that.
Easter.
March 22nd was the publication date, I think.
The week before Easter, maybe?
Yes, it should mention in your
Just so they-
email.
So that would be going out on the 22nd. That might be a bit,
It's a little
It's
late.
getting just tight, yeah.
but perhaps there's something that we can, I'm thinking like an insert in the bulletin or
insert the bulletin with
some kind of correspondence with the church to
We
let
can do
them
an email,
know.
we can do an email blast about it as well.
Yeah,
and
just
just
do we know that.
And an
we've got-
announcement in person for those who don't have email, to let them know that by such and such a date, we look forward to hearing if you have any comments. And any comments will receive a response and, due consideration in the whole project. So that's something simple enough that we could do. And again, so directing people to look at the visuals, to interact with the committee. It's pretty simple, straightforward.
Yeah, I feel if we give them opportunity to talk to it, keep committee and voice their opinions or whatever, I think that you're saying, like, they had a chance to say, no, I'm against. And if it committee sees like, 30% people are against, then all of a sudden it can start thinking and consider, but I don't think.
Yeah, and if there's like a pattern that develops, then you definitely want to pay attention to that, but if it's kind of
But as of right now, there is no negative pattern. I see
Right.
everything is more.
yeah, it's been very helpful, like the idea for railings at the front, but that pulpit, they call it.
Oh, the U shape.
Where the pulpit is, there needs to be railings. I thought that was a good
Yeah,
suggestion. We
the
didn't
platform the
think about it.
podium stands on.
So stuff like that came up, and it's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense to put that into the scope of the project. But yeah, I think we had one comment about the baptistry being always open. And the comment that I got was someone who, when they bring their Anglican friend, it's a point of conversation.
I think I got the same.
I thought, we're doing it just for that, point of conversation for Anglicans. I don't know, I probably wouldn't I'll take the point, but I don't think we'd act on that.
My comment was, it's not an obvious baptism tank anyway. You'd only know it was an opening for a baptism if you were well versed in church culture and baptism. If not, you're just looking at a random opening because it doesn't look like a baptism tank at all. One thing, if we had a bathtub that just permanently sat on the stage, then it might be a.
Feet that are underneath.
Yeah.
You'll see me go down, that's our next renovation.
I'll make sure I can see you get done.
Your underwater camera.
A couple sharks.
The GoPro.
The GoPro.
I'll put one on my head as I'm going in. All day.
There, yeah. With the little waterfall down the stage.
I'm gonna remember that the next time we have baptism. I'm gonna-
Does that sound like a good plan of attack to everybody then? Okay. Thank you all for the discussion about it. I know this is a big thing. I want to make sure we're not taking it lightly and we're doing our correct responsibilities and our duties. And I appreciate your time to the discussion.
Should I say just in terms of the date, if we're putting something out
Yes,
there?
yeah.
Using, or decision usually before, after that.
I think so.
Should we just say, like, if we're putting an insert in the bulletin this Sunday, which is the 8th, should we just say you have until the, I don't know, the 20th?
Give them 2 weeks like we always do.
What's 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
The
22nd,
22nd.
22nd. By the 22nd?
Yes.
Okay, that would be helpful.
They get the news and views on the 22nd.
Yeah,
Wonder if you could even give them one extra day. That way, if the news and views reminds them, they can call in on the Monday.
so let's say the 23rd. That's the
Sure.
Monday. Okay, that's fair enough. What do you think, Todd? Does that?
Yeah.
That fit with, trying to get the heart of what you're.
Well, I don't want to push the point about the money, but to me, even though the 28,000 comes out of Memorial Fund, it should still take a congregational vote to do something beyond the budget. I mean, that's $28,000. People didn't vote for it. And just because it's a Memorial Fund, I don't think that means we have carte blanche with it. But I leave that, if I'm a lone wolf there,
I do think the historical precedent, it's not in the Constitution, but I do think the historical precedent does say that the board has carte blanche relative to how that money is spent, right? Because ultimately the intent of the Memorial Fund is to provide something tangible that we can go back to the family and to say, hey, just want to let you know, so-and-so gave us this money. We're really thankful. And with that money, we spent it on X, right? And so we usually send a supplementary memo, just denoting what we spent the money on, and just as a simple thank you, but usually it is something physical. And given, his affiliation or love of interior design, we thought it would be fitting to do that. So that's the story there. But I do think that the historical precedent is that we have taken that money and just directed it without congregational vote. It's just, I don't know that we've ever had, at least in my time, anything of that magnitude that I could even point to as precedent. So
I think we did, Aaron, I think when we did the sign was comparative to that, right?
About that much, yeah.
And property committee made a recommendation to the board, and the board decided, yes, we can use the memorial fund, and that paid for the sign. We told them where it would be located and why we decided it with the sight lines and so on.
Yeah.
It was all taken care of.
We never asked for approval.
No.
We did not do a congregational vote for that.
For the sign.
Same scope anyways.
Yes.
Speaking of signs, Ross, did you notice that wind blew the cover of the old sign?
Yeah,
Again,
we put it under the snow there, and the snow melted because it was way
we
too
put it up
cold and
one
windy.
day. Yeah, then it-
But yeah, we're aware of it.
It's leaning against that evergreen.
Yeah, it's on our to-do list, our honey-do list.
Are we
Thank you.
leaving that sign as is? Or are we refacing it?
We'll put that cover back up because we don't want kids messing with the letters on it and have something there that we don't want. So we will get it covered. The weather's changing now by this
But
weekend.
you're not changing the sign or like the colors of the sign, are you?
The old one?
Yes.
No, for right now, until we're told by the city, do something with it technically or
Any
legally.
chance of swapping the sides? The yellow one is facing the others, like there's a white one that is nicer and yellow one is old. Anyway,
They're both yellow, but we could swap it out. We'll take a look and see which way is
Take a look.
best.
I think one is much better than the other one.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll look at that.
Okay. thank you all for your comments on that. I very much appreciate it. I'm excited to see this project moving forward. On the same vein, I wanted to take a few minutes and talk as a board of directors about the Elders Council. Pastor Steve, you had an excellent sermon. The sermon was excellent, and your breakout of the proposed elder program was excellent as well. I thought it was really, really well laid out. It was very effectively communicated to the congregation. I thought it was really, really good. I wanted an opportunity just to talk with the board of directors, and I'm glad you're here as well, Pastor James, our pastoral leaders here, about the Elders Council and what the board envisions that looking like, what our pastorals envision that looking like. And most importantly, I want to make sure we're all on the same page with respect to how these elders are selected. Is this something selected only by our pastoral staff at this point? Is this something that is, say, nominated by pastoral staff and approved by a board of directors? Is this a joint task? What is everybody's vision for bringing this elders council together?
Yeah, I'll just speak briefly to it, just to kind of get things kicked off. In ministry, I've learned that, changes are sometimes difficult. And that's an understatement. Anytime that you're proposing something that is a significant change, people are going to obviously be maybe alarmed about it or very curious about it. In this instance, with the eldership pilot group, the intentionality behind it is for it to certainly be a pilot group. This isn't necessarily, the pastoral team strong arming the church and saying, now we have eldership, like it or lump it type of thing. The key to all of this is that it is a pilot group. And so as I've approached each of the people to be involved with it, I've got the list here and I can share that with you in a moment. My heart behind it is to spend the better part of this year and grasp what eldership looks like, what it feels like, how it operates, before we would bring it to the congregation for adoption and approval. I want to be able to come to the congregation having experienced a taste of what functional eldership looks like and feels like before we bring that to them for adoption. And so really the heart behind what we're doing here is a pilot group. It's to test the waters, not to simply just try it out and see, what it looks like, or throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. It's more to learn the disciplines and the practices of what that looks like before we would ask the congregation to adopt it. Since this is something fairly new for a congregation, I felt strongly as Pastor James and I met together and started looking at things that we really needed to take that time to not force it right away, but to ease into it and to let it be a natural development for our church. And so as I've approached each of the people to be a part of it, that's kind of the vision that I've shared with them. By virtue of being in this group doesn't mean you're automatically an official elder of the church. That's something that will be a later decision of the congregation to determine if this is something we embrace as a church. And in approaching each of the folks to be a part of it as well, I've told them there's no obligation to you or compulsion to you that you must be an elder at the end of this process. It's really for us to learn together and grow together. So I'll share the names of the people that I've approached already, just to give you
Do you want that in these names in the minute?
Sure, yeah, we can do that. So obviously, Pastor James and myself are the official or formal elders or shepherds of the congregation that have been appointed by the church. The membership have voted and affirmed us, and they vetted us very well and have brought us on by a call of the congregation and accepted us as pastors. And so I would expect some kind of process if we are to bring on formal elders, that we would have an agreed upon process to do that. So the folks who will be a part of the eldership pilot group are myself, Pastor James. I have Daniel Blada Sr., got Gord Hambley, Vladimir Kralik, Todd Penner, and Jay Thwaites. And so these are five men that Pastor James and I have prayed about, we talked about, and have tapped on the shoulder. And as of this morning, it'll be the 7 of us that are a part of this pilot group.
Who was the last one? Sorry.
Jay Thwaites.
Oh.
Yeah. Jay and Carrie Thwaites, but it's Jay. So I'm really excited. This morning I had a good chat with Vladimir, and we just had some, a good dialogue about the whole thing. And I'm really excited to get underway and to see what the Lord does through this process. And I do want to invite the congregation to be praying for us and to be aware. I don't want to do anything secretive or kind of under the table or heavy-handed with our church. If this is of God, then I'm going to trust that God will do that work in us and in our church to take those steps forward. But I've got to say how encouraged I am in all these conversations that I've had. The surprises we've had along the way too, as we've been praying into it. And so the layout or the vision for what we'll do is to meet monthly. And right now I'm just going to reach out to them and coordinate our first meeting for hopefully the middle of March. And we'll have a monthly gathering of about 2 hours or so to take time to pray for our church, pray for each other, for our families, for the shepherding that we do within our homes and the shepherding that we will seek to do within the church. The second thing that we're going to be doing is doing some learning. And I've got a great resource here that I've shared with each of these eldership pilot group members. And it's a book called Leadership Matters. And this is something, Joel, you asked about an article for News and Views. I'm going to be putting something together that explains basically what I'm sharing with you tonight. And also letting people know that this resource is available. If they want to order it and have a look at what we're learning in our eldership pilot group, they're welcome to do that as well. And so I want to have some transparency. I want to have our congregation be aware of what we're learning, what we're doing together. And so with prayer, with a learning experience, and also the hope that I have in our times together is that we'll be able to develop a clear vision for what eldership would look like at Banwell. So that at the end of the year, we can present what we have learned and what we've affirmed together as a group and be able to bring that to the congregation. First of all, to the board, to share with you where we've come to and what we've learned together, what we're about to propose. And then that would likely go to the congregation for them to be aware. I would want it to be a prayerful process. I do want our congregation to be, first of all, aware of what we're doing, prayerful with us in it, and to move at a pace that is not rushed and not forceful, but to allow the Holy Spirit to work through each of us, and especially including this pilot group, to form us into what we need to be and what God is calling us to be. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to take that step. And essentially what we're doing is a small group. And so it's not like it's not a group that would have executive, decision-making power. It's more, this is essentially a small group to pilot something that could be a more formal shepherding entity within the church. And so that's really the initial thrust of it, the initial vision for it. And so as that comes together, I want to be able to share just updates with our congregation on what we're learning and how we're growing. So that's the initial part of it, and that's what we're launching out to do this month.
Thank you for describing that.
Yeah. Now, I can imagine there's been some questions or concerns that have come to you. Like, are there some?
I haven't gotten any.
Okay.
I haven't gotten any concerns. I'm kind of just kind of envisioning what the questions that might come up, and aside from the general questions about elders, why we're doing this, we've never been an elder run church, and who's gonna be an elder, like women elders, men elders, that those these are the general questions that are gonna come up. The only specific question where I'm going, ooh, how do I answer that is, how are the elders selected?
Right, yeah.
That's I think the biggest one that I think if someone were to come to me, I think I owe the most thorough explanation to.
Yeah, and for right now, I don't necessarily have a full preference. There are essentially two avenues of appointing elders. One would be appointed by like lead pastor type of thing. The other one would be candidates are presented to the membership of the church, and the membership affirms that candidate as they would, the calling of a pastor, that type of thing.
Which I'm assuming when this is no longer a pilot program, that would be our elder selection, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, and I think that's really important to define, because being a congregational church, we want to have that involvement. It can't be, and to be clear as well, that the role of pastor, we are ex officio. We are here at the calling of the congregation. We do not run the church as pastors. It's ultimately Christ who runs his church, and we as the body of believers here, the members of this church, work together to affirm his will. And obviously we have authority structures like the board of directors and the pastors that have well-defined constitutional responsibilities. I would look at that as well and define that very clearly so that our congregation have that transparency and maintain that congregational quality. I think that's really important to have for our church. So yeah, that would be a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I open it up to the rest of the board of directors? Comments, questions, concerns with respect to elders in general, or the selection process? I just want to give the board an opportunity to ask any questions or raise any concerns should they have.
I'm in favor of going ahead with the names presented and as a pilot project, and let's see where it takes us in God's leading. Amen.
Can I suggest we put a motion forward for the board to adopt those names? So that the board would be officially behind them in that respect. I know we probably have a few conflicts of interest. Here, but conflicts notwithstanding, I feel like it's the kind of thing I'd like to see a board motion and vote and approve on. Or no, what's that?
I think it's a little premature yet, I think,
Okay.
because it's got to take some wings first, and let's be confident in some decisions that are being looked at right now. They're praying about things and learning about things. To get a congregation involvement right now, or even a
sorry,
board vote.
sorry, Ross, just to make sure we're on the same page. I did not mean congregational.
No,
vote. I meant board of directors.
Board of
Just a board vote.
Change my thought on that. Yeah.
Sorry.
But even from a board point of view, once we make a motion, we approve it. It's like, okay, this is the way it's going to be. I think it's a little premature. Personal opinion.
If I remember back to our November 29th, 28th meeting that we had, where I did share the initial idea of this, I think there was a motion there.
There was a motion to move forward with the elders. Yeah. I was wondering if the board wanted to make a motion to move forward with these 5 names in particular.
Okay.
I mean, I would move, but I feel like I'm gonna.
I understand. And if the board feels that's unnecessary, that's fine. We've had some great discussion about it and an opportunity to ask some questions. I know it is going to be a big shift in direction for a church. I think a positive one. I think a shift in the right direction for sure, but it's a significant shift in the leadership model our church is taking. I just want to make sure that the elected leadership, the board of directors is on board with the changes, both conceptually and specifically with the names choice.
Maybe it could sit in our minutes as being discussed, and that we've kind of given a verbal. But I guess, Joel, if you're looking for something to say, we accept these 5 names or 7 names, I don't have any issues with that. But as far as direction is going, I think that it's too early.
Okay. Nope.
I feel that as a board, we should have this discussion, and then if we are okay with it, then wholeheartedly kind of stand behind it, vote it officially as a board, and be behind it. I like the officiality part of it. Like we are behind our pastors in this idea. Is it unanimously or with 1 or 2 abstain and 1 against, whatever it is, but we are officially behind our pastors in this idea. I like to be kind of, so they have our back.
Sorry, Barb, I think you were going to say something.
I was just gonna say, I have to put my trust in the folks that made the decision on these folks, because I don't know them all. So I guess really it's going along with what Darko said, is that we're accepting what the pastor has put together at this point and moving forward that way. Because to say I get behind all 5 names, I'm not sure that I can, but that type of thing. So I put my trust in pastoral group that has kind of put it together and believe that
the motion could be more like the board, thinks that this is great and we're standing behind them. We don't even have to mention the names in the motion, really, right?
Yeah. My other big concerns, and you've explained it very well tonight, that this is a pilot project. These are not, this is not, we're not sneaking elders into the back door. At some point, this is all going to have, is going to be, voted on as an official change, and elders will be voted on. I want to make sure that's clearly conveyed to the congregation as well. They don't think that we're just trying to, quietly institute an elders program that that does have significant implications to the direction the church leadership is going, that are, just appointed, not, not elected board-wise and not even elected congregation-wise. I know you've explained it well, just want to make sure that's obvious for the congregation.
Yeah, and as Pastor Steve kind of already pointed out, it would be like an ex officio position, right? Like the constitutionally, there's nothing there, right? And so really, until you make changes to the constitution, you really can't even have a formal elders board. And so
That's
that
right.
they may have to
The
come.
Constitution disallows it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that this allows it, it's just not.
Sorry, doesn't allow for it. Yeah.
Not specifically mentioned.
There is a, like, Pastor James and I were talking about this on a retreat that we had a few months ago. And there's a technical way to do it with our current constitution, and that is to treat the elders or the shepherds as you would a called pastor.
Yeah.
It's just that they would have a different profile in terms of
I see.
expectation and role description,
Yeah.
compensation, all those types
I
of
see.
things.
Yeah.
So you could
Have a larger.
you could theoretically not change
pastoral
constitution at all,
style. Yeah.
but just have another category of pastor.
I see.
Yeah. So that's another.
But pastor also needs congregational.
That's good.
Well, and then that's one of the models is
Yeah.
if that's what we ultimately adopt, it would require congregational vote.
Based on your message on Sunday, it should twig with a lot of people that it is potentially a necessary thing as our church continues to grow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if
Oh, yeah.
we're wanting to see, and we're happy to see 250 and 300 and 350, well, you can't put that all on the shoulders of two gentlemen.
Yeah.
We need to
So-
have, if, to get,
On that point, Bev fielded a question from somebody who didn't know that I was one of the people named, to the effect of, well, why do we need more than one elder?
Right.
More than one pastor? Like, what do they do besides preach? I just, it blew me away that I don't understand
What's involved?
all the other things that are part of.
Maybe we should post the job description.
Yeah. Just show up on Sunday morning.
Take that GoPro home with you now.
Take the GoPro.
My job just got a lot easier, man.
Job goes every other month.
You know, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, it shows that within our congregation, depending on people's backgrounds, they've got a whole host of different opinions and ideas, different paradigms of leadership. But yeah, I think we really do need to provide as much clarity as we're going through a process like this. And yeah, I'm all for transparency and clarity with people.
First, you've been pretty silent. You have anything to add to the conversation? Not to put you on the spot. I
No,
want to make sure I give you some floor to speak.
that's okay.
All right.
No, seems fine.
Okay, I'm not hearing some enthusiasm around any motions then, so.
I'm just declaring conflict
Yeah.
of interest.
I would, but
But thank you for the discussion and, yeah. Thank you for spearheading this, Pastor Steve.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the support.
absolutely, otherwise it's just the two of us.
And Ross.
Yeah.
the darker camp. vote.
Yeah, I'm sure we can deputize Dark with a vote for a one-off.
Be-
We needed to, but. Okay, perfect. Then I will turn the floor over to maybe Todd and Ross. I don't know if we need to resurrect the conversation around lobby updates and the missions map. We've spent not a small amount of money on a beautiful missions map, and I want to make sure it doesn't get lost in the shuffle and gets just kind of hidden in storage for the next few years. Do we need to have any more I have nothing to say, but do we need to have any more discussions on the matters? Anything moving forward, anything we can do?
Well, I'm curious what Ross thinks is the current status, because as far as the Missions and Outreach Committee is concerned, we're just waiting to hear. We think that the wood pieces could be installed on a backing and put up temporarily or permanently on any wall, and we would favor where the old mailboxes used to be, because there was some talk about putting them back there. I think that's gone by the by.
Yeah.
So there is also concern that there's lots of children and lots of commotion in that space, but if I don't think those pieces stick out very much. So Ross, what's your idea?
Well, actually, the FIT committee looked at that with a little bit of a mini renovation to the foyer, to the lobby area, where, putting some cafe type of tables for coffee, not doing a major renovation right now. So I know the decorating committee was looking at location wise and the fit committee. I don't think we actually came up with a concrete plan. The next presentation, I believe, Steve and James, would be that we're going to look at that mini renovation for the lobby. Once that other got approved, that the fit committee, that was the next recommendation, I believe. There was another partial demolition of a wall in the CE wing. But other than that, I kind of understood that we would be looking at making some type of a minor change to the lobby. So I'm just, that's be my response right now.
You're talking about the old library, Ross?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. We're gonna put some,
Yeah, but we were,
By
but
the time that happens, could you not have it up temporarily where you're suggesting?
I think that's what Todd's saying. So put it up somewhere temporarily. If you put a couple of sheets of plywood up and screwed it to the wall, you can put all the pieces on the plywood, then the plywood could be removed and redone without having to unstick every individual piece just to move it one day.
Do you want a nice piece of plywood I've got sitting in my house? I didn't use.
10 by 6.
It's probably not 10 by 6. Yeah, it's a little smaller.
You
10 by 6, eh?
two pieces of plywood.
Yeah, okay.
But his
What
dad, yeah, his dad can get it whipped into shape up there.
Yeah, so you're just talking like one side finished plywood, one
Yeah.
side finished plywood painted white, and then,
What's the place like
yeah,
blue for the ocean, of course.
yeah. But yeah, once I finished, put it up on the wall, and then it's, yeah, like, my concern was putting it up meticulously, then taking it down meticulously, then putting it up meticulously, taking it down meticulously. Yeah, that might be better if we just mounted it on something and then framed it. Like we could even.
But I suggested that to Ross before, and I'm not sure Ross is on board with that.
well, it wasn't so much my choice. It was property looking at it and decorating. We have to kind of consult both groups. Decorating had one idea, property had another idea, and Mission Outreach have another idea. The board can overrule it, and there's pros and cons for it both ways. So I think it's a good idea to mount it on a board. It can be relocated at any time. It should be up on the wall. That's part of our mission. But where it may end up, maybe when we do a mini renovation on the lobby, that may be down the road yet quite a ways. I don't know.
Can I just move that we do the whole, one side finished plywood and just be done with this? Cause, yeah, okay.
missions.
Moved by Aaron, seconded by Barb. Sorry, your motion is to purchase plywood, but I think the location is more.
But to me, the plywood then takes away the whole location
The-
conversation.
Yeah, 'cause it can be
then
moved
can
where-
moved.
Yeah.
So I would rather just see it, just so we don't have to keep rehabbing this. I'd rather just get it mounted on the plywood, frame it, and then if need be, and we decide we don't need it after the fact, we'll take it all apart and put it on the wall, right? So I think it's a clean solution. You can move the whole thing, or you can pull it apart and put it somewhere physical on the wall. If that's what feels a better thing after the fact. So let's just get it done.
Purchased and the missions map be mounted in frame.
Yeah.
Can I again insist that decorating be involved in the final location? Because that would be a decorating.
You just contradicted yourself.
You just contradict yourself. But like to me, the location thing, if you mount it, you can put it anywhere. So if decorating feels it should be somewhere else after the fact or even now, that's inconsequential to my motion.
Well, I think the issue for us was decorating wanted it in the old library. And we thought,
You want to
why
hire
hide it
visibility?
away
Yeah, you
there?
want to hire
Let's
visibility.
put it on the north wall.
Yeah.
And if it has to move when we do the big renovation, and, there's a coffee bar there, that's
That's a different
actually
story.
seems like a
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, actually not on there, but it would be on the other wall, but yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
I could-
Sorry, who seconded that? Aaron made the motion. Pardon?
I did.
Oh,
All in favor?
I did.
Any opposed?
I can't vote, I'll thumbs up.
All right.
I can't what I.
Okay, thank you. Glad we got that sorted out. Quick comment, the SharePoint. Everybody has access to the shared drive, correct?
I'm gonna be going through it over the next couple of months. I really want to make sure that we've got everything in there and set and documented as much as possible. Committee minutes should all be in there, going back as far as we can, so we've got a history on them. Board of Directors minutes should be in there. Our budgets should be in there. Any significant documents, policy documents, they should all be in there. I know I was doing a quick flip around in writing the end report, and I saw a lot of blank folders. I'm gonna be going through those over the next couple of months, and just a heads up, I might be harassing you for for missing years or missing minutes or something else. And I'm as delinquent of it as anybody. I've got a whole too many emails, more emails than I can count on my fingers and toes, of stuff I need to go through and print the PDF and file documents away of. And I want to go through mine as well. I'm going to go through the Board of Directors minutes, and I'm going to be going through committee minutes as well. I want to try to get the history on there digitally set and run. So if I bug one of you one day, that's what it's about. If you could, though, go through any digital files you have, especially minutes, especially the committee minutes, they should really be there on the shared drive. If you can have a look at that and see what you can do. And I think Darko had some comments about our subscription level as well.
Yeah, on a separate note, Microsoft, those of you that use Microsoft possibly at work, you might know this, even though it's more for a nonprofit, but Microsoft is discontinuing the grant for nonprofit organizations. So until May 8th, we have a grant of 10
Users.
10 users that are business, the professional or the highest level, where you get apps downloaded onto your computer. And as of 8th of November, we will lose that. So everybody will be downgraded to basic, which you can use any Microsoft product, but online only.
That's on a browser, like a browser.
Correct. So your app will not work.
That includes phone apps.
I believe phone app is different.
Okay.
I think phone app would be considered as a browser,
Okay.
I would think. Outlook, yeah. So it's on a computer, you log in,
Yeah,
yeah, so I think phone will work.
Okay.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I've
But
never
anyways,
had it on my phone, so I don't care. So are you saying that on my computer, it's gonna be not,
if you use an app, that will not work.
what do I use?
That your computer decides what it's going to use to open.
Oh,
I will have to check if you.
you'll have to come over for
Yeah, I
coffee.
don't. So anyways, it's only 8 of us in a church that use the high subscription level. That will be office staff, Barb has it, Danielle has it, myself, and you maybe have it. Bottom line is that will be, as of May 8th, will be no longer available to us. At that point, we'll have to decide, do we start paying for the folks that want to have app? It will be about $5 might be a US, around $7 a month, so about $70, $80 per person per year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Per person.
Yeah.
So if you have 10, grant was for 10, we'd never used all 10, but so we're talking about $700 or so, $800 annually for Microsoft product. But we don't have to make, this is just informative. As of May 8th, some of our apps might not work for those 8 of us, but for the rest of you, nothing should change. Most of you have just the basic on a browser. You go on outlook.com and log in and you read your email. But, just on a SharePoint, if you have any questions about a SharePoint, just let me know. Bart was so good to us to start going through some of the files that were on Brenda's computer, and she's been going through it.
Thank you.
We've been cleaning, erasing, but I don't, do you want to touch on the missing stuff, or do you want?
I don't know what's missing because I'm not really sure what I'm looking for.
There, like, more we dig into it, more we realize, as Joel said, we are missing a lot of stuff. We had annual reports just a month ago. So I'm type of person, when I need something, let me clean this up, right? So I took annual reports, let me see, what do we have in the past? And we have for about 3 years, and then we have a gap of about 3 or 4 years. So if you ask Barb as a secretary at this moment to produce to you annual report 2020,
Yeah.
there is a huge chance she will not be able to, which is unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable. So we have to collectively get to the bottom of this,
Reports for sure.
dig out.
I don't know if like constitutionally we're obligated to hold on to those. Or
Makes
the
sense.
government.
Well,
But
we
we
are for
should,
7
we
years, yeah.
should. I mean, 5 years ago, that's.
Dark, I have two questions.
Sure.
So one is, can we change, because there's the BoD folder and there's the, what's the other one called, general?
Mhm.
Okay, so there's a committee folder, a committees folder in each.
Yeah. I'm
Can we
always confused.
rename one of them?
Yes, so if you like, we can erase the committee folders in general, period. Only reason why we have it there is if you want to share something from your committee with your members of your committee, you cannot share that from a BoD because they have no access to BoD. So that folder in general is there for you to share with your committee. You send them a link, they'll be able to open it. If you store it in your committee folder in BoD where you should be storing your minutes, they will not be able to open it.
Right,
because
so
they
I
don't
was
have
saying,
access.
can we rename one of them something different so that it's clear?
Sure.
We should make it as clear and concise as possible, so there should be very obvious where
Where said
things go,
committees
yeah.
for sharing and then
Yeah.
committees
That's
Internal.
basically
confidential.
Or-
internal, yeah.
external committee folder and internal, I don't know.
Yeah.
You give me ideas, I can
Yeah.
name it whatever. But that's the idea.
Yeah.
So
So
that was one question.
Sure.
Can
I
someone
don't
please?
think anybody's using the shared one anyway. It might just be.
Well, I would
yeah.
like to, but I haven't.
So that means you've got a set of files that you're sharing and another set of files that are in there, which I'm
Well, I'm
picturing
saying
it.
like
document tracking, yeah.
Exactly.
you can link,
Should have.
you can link, you should never have two
Right,
copies
exactly,
of. If in a perfect world, you will put your minutes into BoD committee missions. And then you have your own minutes, and then you can copy the link from that, go to the other committee folder in general and create a new link, and that just links to your, and that's the one, but then you cannot really share it.
Yeah.
Linking.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be as simple and straightforward as possible. It needs to have as much information as simply as possible.
Like, I don't know how your committees are structured, but like we've got someone who takes the minutes. They then distribute it to the group by email. Then in theory, I should take that and upload it to the
Exactly.
server and then it's done.
Yeah.
So that committee folder in general is not useful at all.
But I would like it to be useful so that I have a place where we have a shared experience.
Drive.
And that's the
Yeah.
idea.
So, but it needs to be called something different than the other one, just.
You just tell me and I'm open to ideas.
You could just put in brackets for sharing, and then the other one just put confidential, and then it's clear that that's the way that they are.
Or maybe for board or it's board chairs is who. It's
That's
not
easy,
actually.
BoD and committee in
chairs.
that's. Like you have to think of how do you want to call the one in a general one for sharing with let's say Lois or whoever is in your
Well, just call it shared then.
shared.
Shared committees in brackets shared. The other one committees board.
Do you want to call it external? No,
External, internal, I think is another option,
Yep.
but
because we call there is one, we
So
call
it's not
it,
actually the committee, it's the committee chair.
well, you're the only one that
Right, so the other one would be committee, this
Can
one
I-
would be committee chair.
Can I leave it with?
Anyway, separate question.
Yeah,
There are two folders now that there didn't used to be in some places, and one of them's called the same thing, except it says phone or computer or Brenda's computer or something.
yeah, we've been cleaning a lot. Barb and I,
But
so
look
maybe just-
duplicated.
Oh, you don't wanna know what duplicated is. You're finding 4 copies of something,
Okay.
and then there is a zip folder, 1 gigabyte. backup over backup, it's
A
a lot of double.
story.
A lot of double. We are clean, like
Okay.
Barb did a great job.
Thank you very much for going through that, and I appreciate you all, and if scour your own computers, and if you've got minutes, files, documents on there, push them onto SharePoint. We'll try to get it as organized as possible.
Send me the text, whatever you need done, and it's just, I'll create your subfolders, and you can create subfolders yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. I know we've talked about this before. I don't think it was resolved. I know there was scheduling away or not away. We still have not resolved the issue of the size of the Missions and Outreach Committee.
So I can tell you that I came on to Missions and Outreach 3 years ago, and there were 5 members plus Joel was the acting chair. And the next year there were 5 members and Joel was the acting chair. And then this year there were 5 members and Joel was the acting chair. No, Joel was replaced then, shortly after that, as I resigned and took on the chair. So the person who resigned then in August, Eric Alfaro, was number 5, and the nominating committee decided not to replace him. So I understand the argument that all the committees should be 4 people. So they're all consistent, all the same size. But maybe all the committees should be 5 people if we're growing. Maybe our job is to bring more people into service and not limit missions and outreach to 4 because all the other committees have 4. That's my argument. Well, and the fact that the board decides how big a committee is, the nominating committee doesn't do that.
Well, the Constitution does, right? What does the Constitution say?
Gives it to the board.
Why 4? So if you're gonna vote, now you can split it down the middle. So then does the chair have the 5th vote?
Tiebreaker.
I'm sorry.
They're a tiebreaker, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Theoretically, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think the chair has a vote, right?
Chair doesn't, chair just
Typically not. no.
organizes.
So what happens if you have a split vote in your committee?
So I think in that case, it's similar to like how councils run, like municipal councils, where the mayor just organizes, but then if it's split decision, the mayor decides. Yeah,
So who's the mayor?
well, it'd be the chair, that's what I'm saying. So like, so I think I think in the case, yeah.
It could also be, if we're split, let's just
It's
not
not a
decide
great, not a great
this.
decision, yeah.
We need to decide something we can all agree on.
Can't take the strong vote, like the mayor?
Yeah.
Me and Drew.
Gonna sword drill to decide what the.
Well, so it does say, so under mission and outreach committee, membership coordinators of various ministries of the church formed to help this committee fulfill its purpose, including Matthew House fellowship events and news team and others as needed, plus at least 2 members elected from the congregation, one of which will serve as chairperson. The pastor and or staff specialist will be ex officio. So it just identifies
Our
that
staff specialist.
it's really just 2.
2 people?
That's what it says,
Well, as a minimum,
as a minimum. So like, yeah,
Oh, it's in
and
there.
no maximum.
yeah.
So it doesn't.
So, I mean, we've been around this a few times. I know, from a pragmatic perspective, I'm thinking that I always have a hard time getting people to volunteer. And
Yeah.
sometimes when somebody sits on a committee, that's, okay, box is checked. I go to a meeting a month, I sit on a committee, that's it. I don't need to volunteer for anything else. And sometimes that's all the work they end up doing is just the sitting on a committee, a couple hours in a meeting and off they go. I do want to make sure that the people sitting on committees are actively taking part in the volunteer work above and beyond sitting in a meeting once a month. And if there's work for 5 people to do, then that's fantastic. We need 5 people to do the work. If there's not, there's not. But I know we've talked about this a couple of times over a couple of meetings. I know it's something you would like to get resolved and,
That's kind of what it comes down to for me, like, is there a reason for increasing the number? Cause like, I also agree, like, it's hard enough to get people to volunteer in regular, positions, let alone on committees, let alone come regularly enough to contribute to those committees, like that you're asking a lot of some people to do that. And yeah, as the church grows, I think certainly we should be encouraging people to step up into roles, especially like these that require, some of their time and their family's time. But ultimately, it should also be based off the need, not just the checking of the box. Like, I don't just want a body, I want a contributing body,
Darko, what were the nominating committee's thoughts on the matter?
We did have a discussion and, basically the missions committee was the idea was presented, they're asking for extra person, and basically as a nominating committee, we realized that everybody has 4, and for what, like, for lack of better explanation, we just said, if everybody had us 4, then we have
So
4.
there's really no good.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
you could just give them 5, no.
yeah.
There was no big decision, but there's not, like, we left it at 4 and we didn't add for that reason that everybody has 4 and mission committee will have.
Do you have someone in mind? Like,
I have suggested a few people in the past, but I don't have anybody particularly in mind.
because again, even if you might have it in mind, it does have need to come technically to the nominating committee, and then we need another congregational vote.
Yeah,
We are
at
so close
at
to
this
the.
point, I think we would just roll it into the
Yeah.
June's update
Exactly.
at this point, but we should still resolve if it's gonna be 4 or 5. Does somebody wanna make a motion to the effect? To either keep missions and outreach at 4 or bump them up to 5?
Not me, you know what my opinion
I
is.
mean, I'm happy to move if you feel that it's necessary.
Well, I wonder if there's maybe a precedent we could set here in terms of saying, like, have a parameter, like between 3 and 5, like, does it have to be so clean cut? Or can there be a parameter based on
Yeah.
what the needs of that committee and the church are in this moment?
And the abilities of the people sitting on the committee.
So like,
You may have 3 people one year doing what it takes 5 people to do another year.
are we effectively establishing policy though for future boards? Like, we make a decision here tonight that says, for example, between 3 to 5, does that set the trajectory for all future decision making? Because the Constitution says a minimum of 2.
Well, the Constitution says the board has the ability to
Yep. Yeah.
establish committees or
Yeah.
or break them down, and how many they should be.
Not such a bad precedent to set.
No, I think it's good. I want us to be aware that what we're deciding on theoretically could
The
be,
future.
could be.
We're
A
determining
future board
the
can
future.
come in and say, everyone gets 2.
That's
because
right.
That's the minimum, and
Yeah.
we want to save people.
Yeah. I'm happy to move that, it stay between 3 and 5. Provide a range instead of being so black and white.
Nominating committee to evaluate the needs and personnel of the missions and outreach committee and nominate 3 to 5 people accordingly.
But I'm saying this isn't specific, like my motion is not specific to pastoral care.
Yeah.
Or to my mission, I think. Versus the average cost.
Pastoral missions.
Yeah, like mine's a generic motion relative to all committees.
It's between 2 and 5 or 3 and 5?
I'd say between 3 and 5.
3.
I think 2 is too little.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
Can
Okay,
move
go
on.
ahead. Oh, go ahead.
And the deciding factor on mission and outreach then will be left with the nominating committee to evaluate the needs of personnel and have the autonomy to go up to 5 if they feel so. That's inclined.
If the nominating committee feels inclined, or if the missions and outreach committee feels.
Well, do you want to
inclined.
put in minutes that the nominating committee should come up to all the committees and ask them for their kind of recommendation?
You know what? That's a good idea. Nominating committee could meet with the.
Before we meet for our June, whatever, like, let's come to each committee and ask them, okay, how
I'll
does
give
it
you a
function?
precedent,
Do you
go to
need- what are
each
your
committee and
needs?
say, you have too
So
many
I
people.
can
not
amend my
enough.
motion, I can amend my motion to state what I've said, but in addition, semicolon. Nominating committee, 2 liaise,
Nominating committee,
2 liaise,
the aides.
bid the respective chairperson prior to the official,
Annual,
the-
no, not annual.
well, I'm gonna say the official nominating process, yeah.
Yeah, it does annual. It is
It's an
every
annual
year
nominating
somebody
process.
comes on. So this is a big year. It's a lot
Very
of,
motion
Yeah.
that the number of committee members.
Plus
be
2 board
between
members.
3 and 5%.
lot of changes.
In addition, I'm reading my own writing here. In addition. What is that? To liaise,
Yeah, Tilly,
to liaise with the prospective chairperson prior to the official respective, prior to the official nominating.
Barb, is that still a motion that you'd second?
Yes,
All in favor? Any opposed? How does that work for you? Have we sufficiently split the baby?
Yeah, since he's liaison.
Wisdom of Solomon.
All right.
Just a separate thing in terms of trying to help the nominating committee. So people fill out their serving and ministry documents. Does the nominating committee have any idea who has become a member and has said, I would like to serve in X, Y, or Z area?
Yeah, so, after our worship committee, when we interview the members, one of the questions is, you have, like, where do you see yourself working or assisting in the life of the church? And then they provide us a response. We
And
take
does
note of
does that go to nominating?
so that's for our internal, but no, it doesn't. I mean, if you're interested, it does go into their file, so.
It would be nice for a nominating committee to get this list of people that have
Regular.
interest in missions.
Yeah.
Because it's so tough for us we hardly know them, and but
Exactly.
there are some people that would absolutely love to serve in missions. But they hate, finance or whatever, so they,
And that can fluctuate from year to year based on their feelings of things and their changing
it's
interest.
almost like you wanna get
It's a moving target in a way.
But then do we put out a call? Like, I almost feel like in that case, you're better off putting out a call because, yeah, I might not be inclined this year, but I might really feel the Lord tugging on my heart next year to be in such and such a season of life, right?
Yeah, well, a helpful tool is the master list, which is we're still refining that, and getting that perfected. But within that list, we do have a listing of who's a member, who's done serving in ministry,
Yeah.
who's done police checks. And so I think one of the categories, have we set up a category to show where they're currently serving?
not yet.
Okay,
No.
because that would be a helpful category to have on the master list where they're currently serving. So a group like the nominating committee can take a look at that and see, okay, Jane Doe is, she's a member, she's done her serving in ministry, but she's not actually currently serving in a formal area of the church. She would be a good person to maybe reach out and contact or keep on a list of potential people. That's one of the functions of a master list that I think we need to incorporate.
Mhm.
And that would really help with nomination because then you'd have it ready. Then you can know what the lay of the land is like before you start. Because a lot of the time in our nomination committees, we spend like half the time guessing whether or not what they're up to, if they've been vetted or whatever. And that takes a lot of time. If we can streamline that and say, you can even do an Excel function that says, show me everyone who's, a member, but they're not serving anywhere. Boom, there you go. You got a whole, option list there for people. So that's something I think we need to, do we have a nominating committee meeting set up?
Not yet, but with June coming, it's a process that we'll have to.
Yeah, we'll need to have
Is there a use in maybe kind of promoting that nominating committee will be going through this process for people to, I don't know,
It's tricky to do.
I mean,
Any
that's the
idea
whole
of how
point of
to-
doing nominating, that we don't just call it out for everybody who's asking for something, that we go to them.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is they did fill out that form and register an interest in a few things. Now, a phone call or a chat over coffee would maybe flesh out, oh, that's not really what they're interested in after all. They just put that down because they were confused. So you find some things out and maybe things have changed since they filled that form out a year ago and their interests have changed or whatever, but we at least have a base of information to share with the nominating committee just as a starting place.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we're gonna formalize anything around it, but it's a great discussion. I think I would encourage some, quick, cleaning up the spreadsheets, getting things checked as best as we can and sharing between committees and nominating committees.
Like, I think if you started with like the people that you had in mind, and then like if they're new to the church and you wanted to get a sense to how they responded to that question, you could certainly reach out to us.
Do you electronically file all that, all
I
the
have to
information, or do they just
double
fill
check.
it out
I
on
think,
paper?
I think it's on paper.
Okay.
It's like, because
Because if it
like
could be
usually like
paper,
Deborah.
together,
Yeah.
that's not a hard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it'll have to be two-way conversation. We come to you as a
Yes,
chair,
exactly.
what are your needs? And we'll probably ask you, okay, what are your suggestions? So then just put a few names, and then as a nominating committee, we go through the names.
Well, maybe that's something that can go out to, like a quick email that can go out to all the chairs, maybe in the next few weeks to say, looking ahead to June, what changes are you anticipating with your committee? And what will you be looking for? What are some ideas of potential people that you're thinking of based on what you know? Give us something to work with, basically. And that will help nominating committee to do their work and be that much more informed with what they need.
Did you win? I
No,
haven't won anything yet. either.
Coffee and
Okay.
donut.
Good discussion on the matter. Is there anything else to add to it? Wonderful. And Todd, I'm going to turn it forward to you real quick. I know we discussed previously some concerns or a topic you wanted to discuss regarding budget and finance communication to committees and chairs that may have been addressed already between, I know Dave's new expense report, and I think you weren't here that day, but he put out a new expense report and kind of demoed it to everybody. And we're looking at somebody new for the office that could, that could also roll in some finances and kind of clean up some of the hiccups that we have going on in the house. Is there anything more to discuss along that lines, or?
I didn't see that, so I don't know, and I didn't see it referenced in minutes. I don't know what that's referring to,
So
so,
that green form.
oh, that one, the check rec?
Yeah, so it's been updated.
So it's
Right, no,
updated and he's.
so I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. I don't know how much has gone out of my budget. From day to day or week to week or month to month. So I would just think that it would be a great thing if chairs, we got a monthly report, on financial update on where each of your accounts are sitting.
And that's, I think, exactly what Dave was hoping to clean up by bringing it in.
Yeah, I thought Dave had
Because
mentioned.
Right now, being out of house, it's receipts are late coming in and the expense reports are late going out. They're late getting to our outside person who inputs them late and sometimes incorrectly. And I think by the time you get the information back, it's almost not worth it anymore as things have passed. And I know Dave is frustrated with the level of detail that I think has been coming back from our outside inputter. He's hoping to, if we get it in-house, then we can get things properly set, turn around, and it's very easy to request then monthly reports. And hopefully that will do exactly what you wanted to do, because I think you've identified a particular pain point there.
Barb's smirking.
If I'm writing the checks, I can certainly, or an invoice comes in to you, I can certainly forward you to each time that there's an invoice or a check written according to your department. Same thing with anybody else as well. Because sometimes they come in, they're just regular bills, and I think we're not paying attention to them. So that could at least give you a heads up. Because I made sure to code them properly before they get to Kim, and that was the issue last year. She wasn't making a mistake. She wasn't getting the proper information.
Mm-hmm.
She has the 2026 budget, so that is corrected. And she has January filed, February will go very shortly. But I think I sent Aaron one where it came in online. I let him know it came in, so it's been paid, so that you see that as it comes in. So that could be something as well, work until they can get somebody brought in to do it, which I think is going to be a process to get a bookkeeper in at this point, till everything gets settled. That's the thing that whoever is going to be there could do that, whether it be me at the present time, but just keeping you updated as everything comes in. Will that help?
Well, I certainly don't need an update every time something comes in, but I would like one before each committee meeting night. So that I can go to my committee and say, we have nothing left in our other missions budget line, so no, we can't spend
You
X,
won't
Y,
get
Z.
it, you're not gonna get it even if somebody was doing it online when you're second week in. Cause you barely get the month done and we're in a committee meeting, right? So you're gonna get it, that can be very tight according to, does all the parts come together?
Mhm.
That would be the concern. You'll have them for the bit like this meeting, because it's at the end of the
Mhm.
following month. but it could be very tight depending on when the end happens. Because bank statements don't come out and different things like that, that is part of the whole process of closing a month.
So could we get them in time for the board meeting?
I don't see why not, as long as we get the pieces all to whomever, at that point. That's my trust. I'm presently not going there on a regular basis. I send my husband with the file because I just rather stay out of that mess.
Yeah.
But I'm in communication with her. But like I said, if things come in that I don't believe, that they're paid regularly, but you still need to know that they're paid, that could be given a heads up to the corresponding chair. That could help. You could keep your own Excel spreadsheet. But I think it would be difficult to commit to saying that you would get it for your committee meeting, because the committee meetings are so close to the
Right,
start of the
yep.
month.
But are we expecting that we'll get one each time there's a board meeting? For the previous month?
That
Yeah,
has not been traditionally what has happened. It would be a nice thing to have. It has not been traditionally what has happened. I think at this point, we aren't gonna change the ship right now, but if we do bring it in-house, I think that's a discussion that we should be having. Maybe we start with quarterly budget updates and see how that goes, and maybe we get into monthly budget updates at one point as well, because that would be nice to take the committee meetings and nice to take the board meetings. Because right now, we don't even have 6-month updates. But I think until we get this sorted out, I think we have to stay the
I
course.
think you only didn't have 6 months at the start of last year.
Yeah.
And they were coming a little bit more regularly, but part of the issue is getting the stuff to them, and it's not all being gathered internally. We're not even getting sometimes stuff signed.
Yeah.
Like I see it sitting in mail spots where we're not getting people to come in and do them, which is why, and I'm not saying, I just tried it with you, Aaron. Where I got a receipt and I scanned it and sent it, sent back approved, we can go on.
Respond back.
So we can do stuff like that as well. But I do believe I will touch base with Kim.
So with the electronic, do you then take my email and like what do you do with my email then? Do you print it out?
I probably will attach it to
Yeah,
that,
attach it to
because
it.
that's the
Yeah,
approval
that's the
plus the receipt.
Yeah.
I just want to see if it would work.
I prefer that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I know, and I know you're not in and out in your
Yeah.
car, so
Yeah.
I got my phone scanning and
Yeah.
off I went.
Yeah.
So we can do some of that stuff, but yeah, I can speak with her as well. If that will help, but I just don't think the promise of saying it would be done by a committee meeting, it's too close to the start of the
Yeah, I
month.
have no issue with that because it won't be done in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's 10 days because the second Tuesday is only the 10th.
As part of, when I was on finance, part of the thing that I made sure of was that at our board meeting, every chair got a copy, exactly as you said, Todd, of where their budget was, accurate probably within a week. So we used to do it. Yes, I did it. Yeah. So it's possible. And then that way, when the chairs went back to their committee, they knew exactly what their budget was, the remainder of it. It works. It can be incorporated.
Okay.
You just be like me and tell everyone no, we're not paying for that.
Love it. Any more discussion on the matter? Okay, Todd, you had also brought up the idea of talking about a ban for transportation. for people
Actually,
on Sunday morning.
Bring it up. What I
Oh.
did was I wanted to send it over to Aaron.
Yeah, I resolved it.
Okay.
Yeah, long story short, we looked into it, brought it up at my pastoral care and worship committee meeting, because it is kind of a pastoral care item.
Yes.
Hyacinth was the one that kind of asked us to look into it, because I guess Claude, her husband who has since passed, was doing it. I kind of explained to her that like much has changed since the days of church vans and being able to just pick people up willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the insurances and the complications of scheduling, and then it kind of becomes a church thing, and if something happens, now the church is involved, and it complicates our insurances, exposes us to, litigious realities, and so, and we can't even really be, obviously, there's the cost of the van, there's the cost of getting someone licensed to drive a van, their certifications, their time potentially being compensated for, and then fuel and all of the elements.
We could buy a lot of Ubers for that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so we kind of discussed it, and just through million cuts, it's that natural death. I've spoken to Hyacinth on Sunday and let her know that those are the realities. I said, gone are the days of just being able to like purchase a
Yeah.
church van and have Joe Schmo pick everyone up. It's just so much more now in terms of what's actually required and the sensitivities around that. So, that's kind of where it's been left. I did say to her though, if there are enough people, I think that are desiring like rides, perhaps it is something that we could explore as a service through a third party.
Yeah.
That would have to be brought to the board, but real, and maybe dealt with as discretionary, benevolence consideration, but I think that ultimately,
Have to get to a big level.
yes, it has to get to a very big level for us to go and find a contractor to do that, because then they would take care of the insurances, they would take care of the coordination, and offload us for the liabilities, right? So that's why, for example, school buses, they're not actually owned by the schools, like third party everything, right? And it's the exact same thing with the church buses, that you're better off third partying it if you get to that scale, and I just don't think we're there. And so even in terms of organizing, let's say Sally lives, 2 blocks from you, we're gonna see who can come and pick you up. The moment we involve ourselves, we open ourselves up to, litigious realities, so. We certainly encourage our congregation to talk amongst themselves, but even in that case, there's some complications about like if something happens or some claims are made. If we were involved, it's just, it's messy, so.
Okay, thank you for looking into it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Before we move on to committee updates, I have one more last minute thing we need to discuss here real quickly. We might need to kick this off as well. MVP Dowie's office contacted us today and asked that since we got that nice, or those 2 nice anti-hate, grants, thank you.
Yeah.
Grants for $10,000 each, if they could come and steal a few minutes out of a Sunday morning service to make themselves known. My initial reaction was not super favorable to the idea, but I did of course say we'd take it onto the board and see what everybody's thoughts are. Of course, it was not part of the conditions of the grant. We are under no obligations, best I can tell, to entertain a politician to our pulpit on a Sunday, but I didn't want to unilaterally turn them down without running it by the board. Obviously, we appreciate the money from the government, but as
And
it's
sorry,
not,
what grant was that?
and we had 2 anti-hate grants that we used to put on the security, the door lock system in the church and our cameras in the church here.
And there's a
$10,000
third one
each.
here in the process of, you asked for another one for this year and no approval yet.
No approval yet.
So we are in the middle of waiting for the third one.
So I'm unclear on what the connection is between the grants and MPP Dowie wanting to come here.
Probably
Sure.
not.
No, there is another,
Sorry,
member that is in charge of
himself.
that.
Yeah.
He's yet another minister that is in charge of that, and it's that minister that wanted to see if the money was spent properly.
So he just wants a photo op.
They have to justify their.
Sounds like he just wants a photo op. Doesn't sound like he wants to come audit it, although if he does, I would be more than happy to
Yes.
meet him here during business hours and he can see what we've done with the money if it's an audit, but that's not the
It's
impression.
sort
I
of,
have.
but he has to
It's okay.
justify his
So-
ministerial.
Yeah, to give you the whole story, I'm kind of friends with Andrew Dowie. And he called me up and said, hey, out of curiosity, would you guys be interested in having us come in and do a spiel basically, in fewer words. And again, it wasn't him. He said he would attend, but it would be the minister that's responsible for it. That they were going to be in the area and wanted to know if we would be willing to have them come in and speak on a Sunday morning. And my first response was kind of like yours of like, well, Sunday's kind of like our worship time. And like, yes, we have announcements, but I don't know if like we would parade a politician up there. I said, I don't know that we've had anything like this happen before, so I will pass it on. I gave them all the emails, like Joel's and Darko's and Ross's and my own, because I'm involved in Pastor Steve's. And so that's why everyone was circulated on it. And then Pastor Steve, you circulated that email or your response, I think, to the rest of the board.
Yeah, I think I confused a few people.
Yeah.
They were privy to their previous emails.
Yeah, so that was the full story of how it unfolded. So I knew it was coming. I had already called, I already told Pastor Steve on Sunday and Joel, I think, on Monday, and then the email came Tuesday. So the issue is that it's this coming Sunday.
Oh, jeepers.
So that's why.
We made that very obvious in the email.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was just a sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured that it's this.
Yeah, so it's.
Well, you don't have to preach.
Yeah.
Day off, Pastor Jake, you can have the day.
He's the minister.
Minister, would you please? Oh, different kind of minister.
Sorry.
Yes, minister?
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
to attend minister on Sunday morning. He doesn't say this Sunday morning. He doesn't give a date. Yeah, he did not make that obvious.
When Andrew spoke to me on the phone, he had said,
I see.
and that's why I.
Which makes sense if he's gonna be in town. And it's not Dowie, it's a minister that would not usually
Yeah.
reside in the area. I see, I see.
But if you look at the response and to your email, they did say that, did you read that one?
Yeah, I did. It's something to the effect of if, if there was a midweek program, we'd come and speak to as well. I'm like, really, there's nothing,
Well, I was gonna say,
nothing imminent. Yeah.
I was gonna say like, cause he had said, well, maybe something over the summer.
Oh, that's right. He did say over the summer too, yeah.
Yes, so what I was thinking, and this is maybe just outside the box thinking, if they wanted to come down in the summer, could we not like for our summer barbecue? Like, or after church thing, give them a microphone to speak for like 5 minutes after the fact and say, hey, congratulations, Banwell. See, like, you got the tent out there. That's more of like the environment for a politician than, in my opinion, the Sunday
Than the
morning service.
We'll have a few babies for him to kiss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, and then, like, people will be there, like, you never know who might show up, like, we did the whole thing when we had all the grand openings, the grand open, and it was really well attended, and we got a whole news article out of it,
Yep.
so who's to say that we won't get the same thing out of this?
I'm hearing that for this Sunday, there's not a lot of enthusiasm around lending him some pulpit time. So I think I'm going to respond and say that I can't give you service time on Sunday. We'd love to have you if you want to show up and attend the service, and I would be happy to meet with you after the service. I can show you the cameras just in person. I can show you the locks and and I can let you know if there's some time in a summertime barbecue. We'd love to have you back sometime if you want a bit more of a stage.
Mhm.
The email that I shared today had a couple of options in there as well, news and views coming up.
Yes, if they want to write an article for
If they perhaps have something that they can send as just a letter to inform us, because that goes out to all of our congregation.
Yeah.
And so if we want awareness or, the information to get out, that's a great way to do it. So yeah.
I think that's a good option you can respond to and say like, hey, if it's just a matter of reaching out to our congregation, you can do so in
quarterly
print.
communication that we can offer you. Yeah, perfect.
Come have a hot dog in the sun.
And yeah, like, and say we typically have I don't know what we call it, our picnic.
A summer barbecue.
Annual picnic, summer barbecue on such and
Church
such.
family picnic.
Yeah, on such and such a date, if that works well for you, we'd be more willing to give you a platform for.
When do we usually have that picnic, Krista? Is it the
Summer.
It's June, there is one in June.
end of June?
And then we usually have the summer. like
The Christmas committee does the September barbecue.
Yeah.
Missions and outreach. does-
No.
Sorry, that's right.
I could find the search.
And it's usually like the second Sunday or third Sunday. Oh, is it usually Father's Day?
It's Father's Day, yeah.
Usually Father's
22nd
Day.
last year.
Yeah, it was the 22nd last year already, and then this year we got June, that's Father's Day, the 21st. So we could still do it that day and lump it all
Father's Day
together. Father's Day barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
With the minister.
all kinds of ministers.
Our church
Okay,
picnic is
thank-
week after Father's Day.
Usually is, but Father's Day fits on that same week, the third Sunday of the month.
21st of June would be Father's Day, and if we do week after, it would be 28th.
I'm just thinking from their end, they probably want like kind of a date, if you're gonna push it
Of
off.
course, yeah.
I just think we should
Yeah.
decide,
Be more
if we have that, if we know
Yep.
what it is, be specific in the email, and say, we talked about it as a board, and we're willing to offer this date after church.
Yeah.
At the barbecue. And then you don't have to come to the service.
Thing about doing it Father's Day is a lot of people won't be there because
True, yeah.
Right.
But sometimes
Do
you
we
have
care?
additional people who
Sometimes we'll
honor their
Yeah.
dollars.
It's less, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
They get a free
Yeah.
barbecue.
There you
Yeah.
go.
We should have steaks though.
Maybe steak
Budget
burgers.
just went up.
Yeah.
When I read the
Bring your own
email,
steak.
my initial was same thing, like, no way that I would be okay with him.
Yeah.
Having any presentation about security or whatever. But on the flip side, I remember the words, how we should pray for our leaders and people in authority. So I saw the opportunity of us inviting them and publicly acknowledge them for the grant and for who they are, and using that opportunity to literally pray for our leaders and politicians, and that Bill sees something. I know it's not Ontario, that's liberal government in the whole country, but to me, I saw it as an opportunity to
That's. that is a good
bringing
point,
them
yeah.
up in front of, introducing them, honoring them for who they are.
And for their
But
service.
taking the opportunity to pray for our leaders and politicians, and that's how I.
And if you're talking about, this is provincial.
Yeah.
The other thing is the interns for the summer, because that's a summer student
It's a
grant.
grant, yeah.
And
Which is a
thanking
different
the whole
department,
government
but it's
for
the
that too.
provincial government.
No, it's so.
Oh, was that federal?
Federal, yeah. Regardless, this is a bit of, and there's a bit of a sidetrack, this is a bit of my caution about taking any kind of government support, money, finances, help. Is if we start looking at things and say, well, we should invite him because the grants, we've applied for a third grant, we haven't gotten that because we might not get a summer student program. This starts down a slippery slope that I'm not sure I'm super comfortable with. I mean, if the government's handing out money, I'm not gonna turn it down. But this, a little fishing line quickly becomes a chain. And that's the one entity I don't want to be chained to any more than I have to.
Coming from brethren churches, some of them in a city, absolutely no way they would
Yeah.
ever allow, and they'll tell you, you allow government 1 foot into your door, you're in trouble. So they will absolutely say no to any grant, any help from any of that.
So that's the thing, but we're not entirely anti-government, we're just
Can you
cautious.
speak for yourself?
Yeah.
But as we are taking that money, I don't feel bad about giving them a photo op.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, it's technically our money that they're giving back to us, but yeah.
And being conservative, that's also,
Good.
it's a little tiny plus versus.
Yeah.
Are we still saying no to this Sunday? That's
Yeah.
the general consensus.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of bringing them up and deliberately praying over
Well,
them,
we can do
but
that on the
we
June.
could
Yeah.
do that on a barbecue day
Yeah.
too.
And you can kind of make it nicely. We would absolutely love
Yeah.
to have them and
And you could say just too short notice.
Our Sundays are,
Exactly,
we don't have, yeah.
It's already planned and.
Pastor James is a lot.
Don't say that, because we don't,
Yeah.
don't ask for a Sunday.
Okay, thank you very much. And we move on to committee updates then. First, I got you up first, Christian growth and nurturing.
Yeah, we started talking about VBS and Heather's looking at 2 options for the curriculum. We're trying to align with Kingsville Baptist again. So I think we have one we've decided. And the other thing was a couple of things came up with check-in on Sunday for children. She was gonna ask Daniela, I don't know if it was brought up about like that design that was presented by Joel for the new check-in desk.
That's right, yeah.
That would probably go with the lobby update, but just cause I don't know, Aaron, you're there, I haven't been there in a while, but there's still some like new families and I think they either don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So we've missed some children going to Little Lambs and they didn't have tags and then, but it hasn't been bad, it's just like the occasional
We
situation
need like
comes
a
up.
very obvious desk that says like children's check-in.
Yeah, so actually Heather did write a proposal that went to our FIT committee. I don't know if Ross, are you there?
Yep, yep.
Did you want to chime in on the check-in desk for kids from a FIT?
Yeah, that was part
perspective?
of our mini, next step was, we were looking at,
Hold on a second, Ross, sorry.
Yeah.
Something weird going on.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Someone just drove up on the grass. I
Drove
think
up
they
in
said.
the grass, maybe they're drunk or something.
I didn't catch that.
Weird.
Ross, we need you here. Get over here, buddy.
Yeah.
Property.
Give us a minute.
Yeah. see?
Can you see him, Cheryl? Well, that's what I think, but it's the grass.
I didn't see.
Oh, I can see the lights through the shrubs. The shrubs are hiding it.
Oh, I'm talking to him.
Sally's here early.
Off to the back.
Yeah, for that, like like they have to do it. It's a minister that has to visit the churches that went to and received the grant.
I've never heard of this, because we've been applying for grants for years. Like, well, at least the employment one for the interns, I guess that was federal. but-
Influencer grant and the security
Why
update.
are they calling it anti-hate grants? What does that have to do with locks on a door?
Because they had a lot of churches broken
Oh.
into, so the government
Okay.
area
What
introduced.
are they made for?
Yeah,
Yeah, because they see it that's hate, acts of hate versus house of worship. But towards the houses of worship, because they see a pattern, right? So they're increasing security of the house.
I immediately, when I hear anti-hate grant, to me, I think of inclusion. Like include, like, you know what I mean? That's the first thing I thought of was racial inclusion.
Mm.
But
Well,
it's-
sometimes that means that, why we put the cameras up too, was to catch anybody, graffiti or hate crimes in process. It went hand in hand, yeah.
I think that seems.
Yeah,
Ross, I have a feeling that minister is in a town now and, they will never bug us again. That's just my personal opinion, like that, just has to do the photo ops in a city. He'll go home, present to his whatever. And
Yeah,
they'll close that case and move on, right? That's how.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a good thing we had the cameras up in place when the last one happened, so it was good.
Yeah.
so what are they doing up there?
Talking about.
We still talking to them?
You go there and help them.
Oh, they're back.
They're in a severe altercation, we need to go help them. No, I'm just kidding.
So did you take care of them? What happened?
I guess just the two of them are out there.
Yeah, some guy's walking his dog there, but he's hopped up on the curb. Like he just drove his truck over the curb and it's on the grass. It's weird.
I got a big truck.
Did we call the police?
Sometimes.
No, I don't think so.
Sometimes people in trucks just do what they want, and they're like, I can do it. I'm gonna do
What
it.
is it with our church? I guess we're just in the right location.
So Cameron got a full-time position at trial rehab in, downtown.
Welcome back.
Full-time.
Was he on our grass?
Should be there.
Yeah. I've seen him out there before. I think.
Apparently he pulls up every day and lets his dogs out.
Well,
Yeah, I've seen him around before. I don't know if he picks up after the dog.
yeah. So she
What'd you guys
started
tell him?
yesterday.
To call you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
He's looking for
I
Christian
think I'm
counselor.
sick tomorrow.
No, he's looking for Christian counselor, so we said that,
Okay.
we don't know what
Cameron's
he's
an
Christian
occupational
counselor, but it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's more,
Go.
let's get you figured out.
Ministry
we're gonna be
opportunity.
moving
There you
forward.
yeah.
At 9 o'clock.
But you literally just like ramped up onto our.
Okay, so back to Ross. Are you still there?
Yep, right here.
We didn't lose you. Good. Did you want to comment on the check-in desk? Because we talked about it at the facility improvement team
We
meeting.
sure did, yep. And what we thought was to echo the one across the welcome desk, kind of make it the same design, the same colors, only a little bit smaller, because it doesn't have to be quite that large, and put it on wheels that it could be rolled around. So it would be a mini welcome center, I guess, would be, more adaptable for, it can be moved out of the way, it can be brought up to the front, it can be, mobile, but it was to be the same design, basically.
And do you remember if we had any action on that or what we were going to do with it?
Well, yeah, we did nothing with it because we were bringing the other proposals first. And then we were looking at the welcomes or the check-in desk, some tables for the old library there that we could just serve coffee or people could just stand around and talk, and possibly some chairs for the lobby itself. That was going to be the next proposal. That's what we were looking at one time.
Yeah.
So no, we don't have a price, but the way it worked out last time with the Welcome Center, it was pretty good because somebody wanted to make a donation for that, and it was paid for in full just by somebody wanting to go that route. And I think maybe the idea is instead of trying to budget for it or come up with some money, we can get a price for it and maybe ask or make it known this is the price of something that we need, a piece of furniture, and see if somebody steps up.
Yeah. You dealt with the last deal for the welcome desk.
Yes.
And you got a contact. Was it Monarch?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Were you able to contact them, or would you be able to find out the price?
Definitely. I can have somebody over there anytime and they'll match it up to the same style, the same manufacturer. So it's pretty identical.
So I remember on the invoice for the welcome desk, it had all the color scheme for it, the exact
Yep.
colors.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a Monarch supply. So
Yeah.
we could do
Yeah,
that.
just Krista, that's the progress so far with the check-in desk. That helps.
We might, I don't know, I don't think it's fit committee, but we'll have to look into too, like that idea of self check-in options, maybe to streamline it more. Just something, so it's not like backed up and new families aren't getting the explanations about, some of them don't know when the number comes up and they're
Yeah.
not responding
Oh,
to it.
Yeah, that's always.
So there's just things like to orient them about procedures, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like our long-term goal is to get the regulars to check in somewhere, so.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
working on that.
Well, yeah, the idea with the desk was to have, always have a check-in person there to do the manual
And
check-ins,
then
but
another
then
one.
have a
Yeah,
tablet
so-
on the stand where you can do
Yeah.
self-check-in.
So getting towards that.
Yeah.
Would that be fit or just us working on that, I guess, at the committee
I
meeting?
think, yeah, Fit did talk about it,
Okay,
and yeah, Heather had that proposal for Fit. Did she give that to you as well?
no, I can
Oh,
ask her for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'd be good for perhaps Fit to take that next step with pricing it out and looking at an option and then bringing that to CGNN for tweaking before we propose getting it paid for. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think if we communicate with like the greeters too, or I guess the people that are, what is it, security, like still Wheeler, Jim Wheeler, and like, okay, just saying like if you see families kind of looking lost or wandering around or like direct them like to like, well, we're trying to coordinate that they can still find Heather. And they can even check in late because some of them are still just going and kind of wandering around, I guess, and not knowing what to do. So we're all on the same page for that. But yeah. What is that?
Good.
The only other question for Krista is, we all want to know if you were a winner there. And we get to share.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I haven't even rolled
They're
up
rolling.
any of them because I think you have to use an app.
No.
No.
I've wasted so many. I thought I had to use an app, and I don't like apps.
The new Volkswagen.
I've had coffee for the last 2 weeks. Okay, thank you. I'm glad
Is
I.
it not big here?
I'm glad I know.
Yes, yeah.
I-
Also,
Yeah.
you
You get the
I
app
thought
too.
it said
Yeah,
full
so you get
and then
two.
go to the app.
You get the app, and then if you order,
Oh.
if you order,
Then they
do
say,
a
and then
mobile
go to
order,
the
they
app.
give you 2 times the roll.
Then.
Then
Oh,
go to
good.
the- Right.
Technically,
So
this is
you
really-
still
this
need
is
the
really-
app.
It's getting rich.
It's old-fashioned.
It is,
Yeah.
but you don't need the app.
They brought it
I
back.
haven't
to
even looked
the-
at it. I was
People
like,
were complaining.
okay, good.
So they brought back
That's
the.
coming too. I'll go dig in the garbage. It's like my cup from the weekend.
Winner.
They're like,
Might be well worth your
Now you
while.
have to share it with us now that we.
yeah, now that you told me.
We get
Okay, that's good to
we get a
know.
cut.
You
Totally
win,
was
don't
like,
you? All right, you get a piece.
yeah, good to know.
Okay.
I know that Heather is aware of this, but as a committee, some of us parents are quite frustrated with those self-sticking labels.
Yeah.
Like,
They-
I mean,
they-
like.
They've ruined
Yeah,
clothes.
it's ruined and stuff.
Oh,
And it's an
that's
issue.
awful.
It's
Some
an issue that we have to.
We're supposed to take them off.
Ruined one of my shirts. Ruined one of your shirts.
No,
These are
but you-
kids' ones.
you
No.
should come home
Some
and
material,
2 hours
yeah,
later,
yeah.
It's ruined my shirt.
You
It's in my
really?
permanent rectangle.
Yeah, yeah.
We just get
I
stamped.
think I got one of the kids.
Yeah, no, no.
Expanding the system.
No, that's bad. If someone's out for
If
their
we are
kids, shut
expanding
their
to
things,
self-checkout, if
Yeah.
we're expanding self-checkout,
No.
something to think about, either special labels,
Yeah,
which will cost
But
more,
labels
or
are
just change the whole system. I don't know what the answer is. I'm just kind of.
yeah, no, it's good to know. I didn't know that.
Quick
I
Google
knew that.
search on-
Some
Some
stickers.
material,
Yeah.
some material It does, because I've
Yeah.
gone to ladies' things before.
Yeah,
with peanuts
I've had that
because
too.
I know.
Longer in the summer though, cause like,
Yeah.
it was like the heat would like stick, like the glue would come off the back, yeah.
I think that's.
And I don't take it off right away and then let it.
Yeah.
It like bakes into the fabric of the clothing.
Yeah, it's bad. Okay.
But often it's not like, it's 2 hours, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
put it on at 10:30 and you
Yeah.
come home at 12
Yeah,
and it's already permanent,
Yeah.
you cannot.
We could probably put it in a sleeve protector and then clip it on, I don't know, I have to
They're
think of something,
magnets,
or like, you know what I mean,
yeah,
instead of
they're
a
magnets,
sticker,
but
you
then
can
the
put
kids
it
have to
in
give it
and
back.
they wear it, yeah.
It's easily
You could-
solvable, there is a magnet, no pins, you never. put
Yeah.
it-
Yeah.
I wonder if it's
It's
just another
not
brand, because I've seen
mainstream.
stickers at so many churches.
Yeah.
It's just here that. it's-
Oh.
There are.
Has it been just recently or all the time, like?
I think it was back in the summer where it was
Yeah.
the
Because there
problem.
may have been a difference of labels, because I know I just ordered more for Heather, and we ordered the name brand versus probably, because I said we could go on to Amazon,
Okay.
and she said we could, but she thinks there was an issue, so they've been ordered, the ones from Staples are a name brand.
give it another chance.
No, that's good to know.
I think to be mindful of it.
Take an old
Yeah, I-
sticker on it, put the blow dryer on it and see what happens.
That's slobber on it.
No, that's good to know.
Sorry
Okay,
to
yeah,
hijack. this.
no. So finance not here tonight, Barb.
Just
Hey,
one
sir.
thing with
Yeah.
regards to, so I have the health and safety group. And, which is Mr. Wheeler and Kim, they did their regular walkthrough. There was also earlier in the season, January, early February, we had the folks that come in and check the fire extinguishers.
Mhm.
They suggested that we should have another two in the outreach center, one upstairs and one probably the gym.
Mhm.
One has been donated to us. Kim had one, has donated. We have bought one. We'd like to have them installed, and I don't know, can I just ask property? Do I just give them to whomever? But we'd like to wait till Jim and Kim are back, Kim is back, so that they can suggest where they're
Mhm.
there. Is that?
Yeah.
'Cause we
Yes,
said-
but also like the outreach center was part of a current life safety plan.
I'm sorry,
Like the outreach center was, our design for the outreach center had a life safety plan as a part of it.
I don't think there's any upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I just want to make sure that whoever's coming in to inspect the fire extinguishers also isn't taking a conflict bench. Oh, yeah, you need 5 more here. When it's a new build, it's gone through permits, it's had a life safety plan done, like this is a current to code built addition.
Actually, Kim did mention at the property committee, and he had one just that he found in his house type of thing. And I mentioned, and we brought it up at property committee, that yes, exactly what you're saying, Joel, that the new addition met and exceeded like any fire extinguishers and plans, that it was well approved. Why do we want to keep just putting where we think a fire extinguisher might be necessary? Property turned it down, actually.
I mean,
But
two
that's-
fire extinguishers isn't gonna kill us. I just want to make sure they're not running away with
Well,
us or
but
anything.
it is an ongoing thing because then you need to get them re-tagged.
Yep.
Recertified,
Every year.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's nothing upstairs.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
good
yeah.
with that,
Yeah.
up in the mezzanine.
Yeah,
And the one that I'm understanding
Yeah.
is in this part of the building.
Mhm.
Um. They've
Yeah.
been we have two.
I mean, I put them
They are
up, 2
minimal.
extinguishers isn't gonna,
Yeah.
isn't gonna kill us, but yeah.
it's
I
just the
still-
recertification, it's an ongoing process
We're-
and you have to stay on top of.
We're inspected
Okay.
every year, and it has never come up, and including just the latest one. They are so thorough, whether there's a light bulb out or something, and we've never been written up for shortage of fire extinguishers.
Would be better. to
So,
take
but yeah,
the
they don't need a big formal installation. Property is more than capable of putting those up if
They're
they.
just $60.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So Ross is gonna have property to take care of it?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Well, property took care of it and decided that we didn't need them because we meet all fire regulations. That was the.
We have them. Now we have them.
You want to put them in the storage? Yeah. In the storage room? You want to put it somewhere?
I mean, if we've
visible?
got none up in the mezzanine veins, we'll just throw them.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not gonna. kill us. All right, Ross, we've got them anyway. Do you mind putting them up? We've already got them.
Well, they do have to be tagged every year. They've got to be inspected.
They're already coming to inspect the rest of them.
Well, hey, Board says put them up, we'll put them up.
All
The
right.
extinguishers or the
Barbara,
alarms?
pardon me?
Is it the extinguishers or the alarms?
It just extinguished.
Just extinguishers.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
That's
That's
it.
it. All right, then you're up, Ross, property. Thanks for hanging with us. I
I've been
didn't pass
coughing a
out
bit,
with NyQuil coma on us yet.
but I didn't want to spread germs around and start sneezing and hacking there. It's a
Appreciate
man
it.
cold, you know, so men, we really get colds bad. I mean, it's a lot
Your
worse,
wife is mocking you.
you know. I've got more prayers going up right now than, oh man. Yeah, with property right now, we're anticipating getting the lines painted on the gym floor March break, which is in another 2 weeks. So that'll be a great thing when that's all done. It's coordinating it to make sure the floor gets stripped down, and then they come in with the paint, and then the floor's got to be reglazed. So we're looking at the week of March break as that should wrap everything up and be done.
Did you get the colors coordinated for those? We talked about colors.
Well, we talked. I wanted Steve and pardon me. Steve, did you get a hold of? I don't want to put you on a spot here, but did you talk to decorating about different colors?
No, I haven't actually. Sorry,
Okay.
Ross.
I'll follow that up. I know the painter said the hardest color to do is red. And he says, if you can give me another color other than red, and I think somebody suggested, pardon me, somebody suggested the Banwell blue color. And that's, you know, that can be looked at. I could get with Danielle and we could take a look at that.
You don't
'Cause we're
mind,
gonna
I mean, you remember from selecting the floor, it was a bit of a not contentious process, but they certainly decorating wanted to make sure that it was, styled right, and finished right, and could accommodate, sports and events and weddings. So, just like the other ones, I'd really like to make sure that our decorating committee has, looked at it, selected colors that aren't gonna, that they're happy with, aren't gonna clash, and they have their official sign off on it.
Yep, I have talked to her about it, but I will get back to her before we commit to any colors.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, the typical thing, just your door's not working, water leaks and all that kind of stuff. So constant maintenance. It's going good.
Ross, good question for you.
Yeah.
Just another follow-up from the FIT team regarding room 5-6.
Yes. I haven't got a recommendation from that yet. There's interest in taking the wall down in between 5 and 6. James looked at it, and Steve and Pastor Steve and Heather, I think, was going to bring a recommendation to FIT that we open that room up because it's too small for, like, you can fit what, 5 or 6 people in a room, whereas when we opened up the youth room, they were able to get more kids in there and so on, and you don't need as, it cuts down on how many teachers or people you need in there to watch the kids too. So
I think one of the teachers is in a wheelchair as well, which in the small room, it's really tight space.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the board wants to consider that. The costs are so minimal. I mean, a couple of trim pieces, it's just taking the studs down and the drywall off the wall. We're going to be looking at doing the sanctuary there, the storage room. Same group of people. We can have some people over doing that, and we can have some people doing the other, if that's what we would like to do. We don't need congregation approval for that. That's
Okay, great. Anything else?
no. Did somebody want to talk about that wall or?
You said Heather was going to bring a recommendation to the board?
Well, no, it was coming to property through CE, I believe, and or Christian Growth and Nurture. It's just accommodating, more space. That's all. Opening it up.
You look for a motion?
Well, they're asking for it. I mean, it's only a matter of time before it actually, when FIT meets or property,
I mean, it would be nice to see the classrooms used. I mean, I know they've been storage for several years now. If taking out a wall and, expanding up into the classroom and gets, makes use out of the classroom. I mean, that sounds fantastic. I mean, I know the chapel's working for them, but the chapel can also be used for, for other things, be set up. If they can get set up and stationed in the classroom, that sounds great.
Yeah, I know Pastor James had mentioned about dividers in both those rooms that were, the walls would be taken down, and that's probably something we can get pricing on. They don't have to be the big commercial one like for a gym or something, but something that if they wanted to divide it off, they could do that. But we can look at that too.
Dividers were also kind of speculative, like if we reach a situation where we're like, oh man, we actually need to close out this wall, what would it cost to get the dividers in so that we could have basically 2 small rooms and 1 big room?
I don't think you really need that. I think if you're gonna open it up, open it up.
So-
We have so many little.
They're really.
We really
expensive.
changed, we can put on the
Yeah.
wall for cheaper than we can buy dividers, and we don't have to store
Yeah,
it.
and put them in other
Yeah.
church buildings and they're like really pricey
Yes.
for what they are.
So that's between classroom 4 and 5,
5 and 6.
It's 5 and
or
6.
5 and 6.
Are you looking for a motion from the board? It sounds like we have some enthusiasm around it.
Sure. I don't have it in writing, okay, so I'm only, Steve,
Somebody want-
have you heard from your wife that she was going to
Yeah,
make
I've got the proposal we shared with FIT. Do you want me to share that with the board?
Oh, I didn't think we got it at FIT yet. I'm sorry. Maybe we did
Yeah,
talk
we-
about it generally, but,
Yeah, at our last FIT meeting, I think we did
Yeah, we
talk
did.
about.
okay, my apologies. Yeah, my apologies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if we can get a motion going there, we can take care of it.
Great, yeah.
Who would like to make?
I'll move.
Aaron makes a motion to
Knock down.
proceed
the-
with knocking down the wall between classrooms 5 and 6 upon a proposal from
So we're making 2 rooms, taking 2 rooms and making 1?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is there still gonna
Classrooms,
be,
yeah.
so would that give us 3 rooms in that wing still?
Yeah, there's still 4 on its own. That's-
Okay, but it'll be
that's
3.
storage.
With the 2 joining? 5 and 6 would join, so would it give us 3 classrooms?
Yeah.
I'm just, okay, I just wanna visualize that.
Shouldn't we also though, there's some other things that need to be done first? Are we gonna, is this saying you're not starting this right away, right?
No, we're
Like,
just,
is the,
Giving them a-
check-in
we're just giving them,
center?
we're giving them the go ahead to
Okay.
do it
Yeah,
whatever.
like when it's-
is that going to be together with knocking
Yeah.
those walls in a sanctuary?
I remember when we did, Vladimir, I think did,
Yeah,
7,
he
8.
said the first.
Yeah, that's how
And
that's how
when
I
we
understood.
did 7, 8, it was just a matter of the finishes, like, it's not hard to knock a wall down.
No.
Just capping it on.
Just capping it off is more the challenge, make it look good aesthetically. But from a structural perspective, I remember that there wasn't anything actually holding it up there.
There's no load bearing.
Yeah, no, they're not, no, very, no.
It wouldn't start
Okay.
right away, because there is an outside rental that will be using those rooms
Oh.
in middle to late April, just to keep that in mind.
We'd have
Did
to
you hear
coordinate
that,
with
Ross?
the office. I'm sorry?
Did you hear that?
Yes, yeah. we
The
can-
concert band.
we can
The
co-
concert, or not the orchestra that comes in. will
They use,
be-
they use the far room,
They want 6, 7, and 8 is what she asked for. She wanted 6
She
and
might
then the
only get
7, 8.
7 and 8.
7 and 8.
She might
7
only
and 8.
get 7 and 8.
Well, we got
Well,
5.
it's
so we
okay.
might
5, 6,
Five
7,
and-
8. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but it could be in the middle of it, if that's
Yeah.
what she's asked for. Same thing with, we have to watch when you're gonna do the construction in the sanctuary, because we have committed to them being in there to do their concert.
Yep, yep. We'll coordinate it with the
But
office.
did we commit to having an aesthetic backdrop?
Exactly.
I'm not.
Sorry,
Sorry.
all in favor then?
Who seconded her?
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Sorry.
second.
Laura, do you want a
I'll
second?
second.
We have put in the minutes that to coordinate with the office to make sure we don't get into trouble
Yeah,
for
yeah.
knocking in the
Perfect.
wrong timing, so they have to coordinate.
Yep, exactly.
All in favor? Spectacular.
Great. Thank you. I'm done.
All right. So Steve?
I don't have much other than, and this may touch on mission and outreach, that's assembly delegates. The early bird registration just opened up, like 2 days ago. And so I think we do need to get moving with that. Once you pass the early bird, the price shoots right up.
Do you see when it's deadline?
I'd have to look it up on the assembly website. They
What's
set
the
up.
date? Date,
The date of the event?
yeah.
June 4, 5, 6, I think.
Is that it?
Is that
Or is it the
Yeah,
weekend?
June 4 to 6, yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
June. And
That's unfortunate.
Say again.
that,
I'm gonna get back from my retreat and then I won't be able to have a follow-up with the youth. So it'll just be retreat and then summer. If I'm gone at the assembly.
when's
Did
it?
you,
Say it again, Joe?
June 4th to 6th.
did you find out, Steve?
Early
Yeah,
bird
four
available,
delegates
April
plus
17th.
pastors?
We still gotta work on it.
Only 4 delegates.
Well, the constraint that we have is the budget for it. So that kind of constrains how much we're able to send based on the budget we have for it.
Well, unless people are willing to go and just pay their own way.
That's true, yeah, that could work. For the way that it works is it's 1 delegate per 50 official church members. And then it's plus pastors, so you could add on to that. Previously, we've just sent 4.
But we're entitled to.
But we are entitled to
4 plus pastors.
4 plus pastors.
4 plus pastors.
Yeah. Although our membership, what is it? Is it 198?
185.
Okay, so
So
that
we
means
get
three delegates plus pastors. We're not quite at that 200 threshold. So. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about it. When you get a moment, can you send me the last list of baptisms?
Okay.
The one that Glenn was in? I don't have those.
Yeah, I thought I sent
Just
it.
I wanna
Well,
keep
I'll
on
resend it to you. Yeah.
Keep on it this year.
Yeah.
And when is the next membership?
The
The
next steps.
When there's gonna be more members brought in?
That's all contingent on CG&N.
Pastoral care
Aaron
worship.
will speak to that.
Pastoral care worship.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to put assembly on the radar because the early bird just opened up and we do need a congregational approval for the delegates who go officially to send them. So I don't know if we've done that before at a called meeting, like our.
Yeah, we've done it at a called meeting. So we haven't, I know we haven't gotten our audit back yet, so we could probably those will be ready at around the same time.
Okay.
Because it usually doesn't work to vote in a new slate of members, so that's a little bit late for that. Although if we really gotta go for broke, but at that point, everything's already registered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would work well if Dave gets the audit back and we can approve the audit of the budget and have delegates ready, that would work out well.
What I can do in the meantime is, like, we could have Pastor James and I registered early bird.
Yeah.
And then as we get those other 3
Sorry, Pastor James, members on that week?
I'm gonna be gone before at the youth retreat, and I was hoping to come back and have one final youth group day to kind of consolidate everything we were going through. So, I mean, we'll see. It doesn't necessarily rule me out.
Yeah, might be something creative we could do there.
Yeah.
with Getting you back here for Friday night.
We'll have to see, or I could just extend youth group an extra 3 weeks and then just do it when I'm back.
Into June.
Yeah.
I could go right up to June 12th and then just close up
Yeah.
there.
Well, let's refine it tomorrow, chat about it.
Mhm.
But I thought it'd be good just to get on that early bird part, register us as pastors, and then as we get those 3 delegates. And often we've had I don't know what criteria we've attached to CBOQ assembly delegates. We usually open it up to committee and board members first, and then members at large as a second option. Have you tapped anyone on the shoulder yet?
I've talked to about 6 people just to find out if they're interested.
Okay, yeah.
And some of them I can't because of schedule, but
It's tricky sometimes, yeah.
just preliminary inquiry to see if they even were available.
Right. Okay. All right. That's all I've got. Unless you have questions for me about anything that I've shared tonight. Okay.
Do you have a date for the newcomers lunch?
Yes, I usually like to have that, what do we say, right after, the week after Resurrection Sunday. So that would be, I had marked down April 12th as a possible newcomers lunch. And then I would follow that with next steps classes the 3 weeks after that, if that's feasible.
12.
So yeah, April 12th is a newcomers lunch. And again, that hits right after Holy Week when we've had perhaps new visitors and people, wanting to make a connection or reconnection with our church. But we can confirm that in the next little bit. I guess it's almost the way. I do need to get
Coming up.
Yeah, it's. I know.
Just on a personal note for Pastor Steve, I just wanted to share my thoughts about the Ark of Covenant and my appreciation from me and my family for your hard work on that, and always really appreciate it and
It was very
spark
nice
up
to
of
have.
conversations in our household, and I just wanted to thank you for your time and
Thank you.
effort in
Thanks, Darko.
making that.
Yeah, good point.
Really appreciate
I
it.
had fun. It was a lot of fun.
And the manna too.
And what?
And the manna.
Yeah, I made some manna on Saturday night.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. You can talk for kids.
Aaron's staff is coming this week, so stay tuned.
Did anyone eat pancakes?
Yeah, I managed to get rid of
What
it.
was that? Like,
Yeah.
we've talked about it when we got home. Where were they?
I don't know.
I moved them into
You
the
take this
office
way.
because I felt like having pancakes on the front of the church during the service was a little bit, so I took them down.
Yeah, thanks, Darko. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a little children's book in the nursery about the Ark of the Covenant.
Really?
I sat down with, Silas.
Was it Silas? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it was like, oh, wow, this is cute. Look, you did a great job.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Yeah. It was funny. Someone asked me, how long did it take you to build that thing? I said, I started on Monday.